That way we can get the streams up, and then I can link them in the chat and everything, and start getting people over here.
I'm gonna get some gameplay footage going. If we're gonna be a little more cash.
You can, but I'm probably not gonna air it because I have a picture of the. I already have an AI generated picture of the Raiden Shogun with giant boobies.
Nice. Yeah, the AI shit is interesting. It's just they think it's gonna replace artists. It definitely can't.
It's a terrible version of it. Like the allegedly professional AIs are all just like what they're being burnt for is like anime pseudo hentai because the AI prompts are like told not to create hentai, which like that's an exact waste of time. Like they should just if you're gonna do them for that, right? You should just have them be IP violating robots, only for the porn parody though, right? Because it just saves you time. You can churn out so much of it, you sell it, and then you're done with it.
Check out this. I did Sarah Connor as a Street Fighter character, and it turned into a very specifically perfect female Guile.
That's
I was like,
fantastic.
wow, that is on point.
Like some of these, the faces look terrible. These are all just Overwatch characters, though.
No, I mean, of course the faces are gonna like every part. There's gonna be parts of it that's shitty. It's still AI. Like in some
Well,
of these, like you seen how the butt like in that one that the Nakedist posted, how the
yeah.
butt is like it does that all the time. I have like a bunch of them I deleted from where it was all just busted up, like arms going through arms, hands with like 50 billion fingers. They've been working on that, trying to make that better, or faces that are just straight up busted, or think you know what I mean? Tangents just it doesn't understand the artistic concept of a tangent where things just the lines separate in an unconvincing way.
Yeah, well, when you condense the 3D image into a 2D image and you produce that, sometimes like there's angles in real life that look really fucked up when you do that if you're not already familiar with the art. Well, it's like that one I posted where the woman's hand becomes her pectoral muscle.
Yeah.
You know what I
Or
mean?
three-legged bitch, where it's like the leg splits at the knee and splits into another leg.
Yeah. But no, I'm not. I should figure out a way to air this art on the channel, but I'm not going to tonight because I didn't do a tech test on it, and everybody knows Dan and tech go really well together.
I can
Um,
post it. I can post them in the chat if you want.
I should start a thread of these. But no, my point is like what you've generated is just a bunch of Overwatch characters. Like, so like,
Street Fighter. Street Fighter, the progenitor of Overwatch style.
yeah, well, okay, fair enough. But the
They weren't doing that generic flat shaded anime looking character until Street Fighter did it.
well, yeah,
Which
okay,
they didn't start doing it until Guilty Gear got the anime looking formula right in 2D.
yeah, and then they had to up their game.
Then they had to up their game and make it like 3D looking 2D.
Yeah, no, but that's I mean just like okay that the pink haired one there with the glasses I don't know what OnlyFans account that's supposed to be, but that just looks like I was like that's Overwatch. The one above it though, Street Fighter.
Belle Delphine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm.
The one above that feels a lot like Street Fighter.
It's definitely Street Fighter. Yeah, that's the
No,
one where I put in the prompt Sarah Connor.
yeah, no. The Guile one is definitely Sarah Connor. Is definitely Street Fighter. The one above that, the redhead looks Sarah Connor. Looks really Street Fighter to me.
That's actually ScarJo,
Who?
Scarlett Johansson.
Really?
Yeah, I put in like I seed it with information off of like actual people so that because it will definitely take their likeness but not get it exact.
So you manipulate it.
So yeah, you gotta kind of understand how it thinks or how it
Ah,
recognizes patterns.
yeah,
Because I've been studying this stuff since like I don't know, like a couple of years before it was popular. Like I
yeah,
was
yeah.
actually reading up on the matrices and how it works, and it's really fascinating stuff. But the technicals behind it will make your head fucking spin. Like it is the hardest material I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
That's
it's
interesting.
all it's all just raw math.
Yeah, I imagine so because these are all at the end of the day, this is just digital graph paper. People blow this shit up as much as they can. Oh, yeah, that's pretty messed up. And that one woman is off center on her hips.
Yeah, they're all kind of weird.
Yeah, the Belle Delphine one looks. I'm telling you, dude, it looks like May from Overwatch, but just a little more realistic. Whereas like the one,
Yeah.
okay, so the one
Well,
above
again,
ScarJo,
Overwatch is nothing but a toned down Street Fighter. I do appreciate their style because I did actually
that's Overwatch.
look into
Very
how
Overwatch.
Overwatch created its style.
Yeah,
Its environment techniques are far
Spider.
more impressive to me than its characters.
Too
But
realistic.
but yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say the one above that, right above the nakedness is interesting. None. Um,
Mhm.
that one looks like the Dragon Ball Z video game,
Mhm. Mhm.
which
Yeah.
that's
See, and even when you put in anime characters, it
yeah.
pulls in a lot more of the anime style. So it
Hmm.
starts looking more towards the Guilty Gear spectrum rather than the Street Fighter spectrum or Overwatch spectrum.
That looks like something you can make in DBZ character creation almost.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
the one above that is definitely Overwatch. That looks like an actual Overwatch character.
It won't be too long until you be able to get a character custom. And maybe I'm wasting my thoughts on saying this out loud because someone's just gonna take it and steal it, but it won't be too long until you have character customizations that are kind of driven by AI.
Yeah.
So you can say, I want it to look like this character, and I want it to look like this. You can actually put in a prompt and it'll generate a character for you in a game.
As long as it can get the skeleton down, it should be fine to do that. Yeah, the Belle Delphine one above that has to be Belle Delphine again, and that one is just spitting image of Overwatch. That looks like
Hmm.
Android 18. That's definitely Street Fighter. The Silkster one and the like the blue leotard one piece thing.
Yeah, that one definitely looks Street Fighter.
That's so Street Fighter stuff. And the one above that looks like that one looks uncomfortable to me.
Yeah, they really fucked up the face in that. But again, I have a whole folder of these. I could continue to drop these for like the whole episode, for the whole show.
Yeah.
Some of these are really good too.
Yeah, actually
Some of these are not so good.
the very first one looks like that looks like Overwatch 1, but it's spot on. Like I'm having trouble discerning if you didn't just rip off an Overwatch character there and cram it in because like that one like that could be so perfect if she had a gun. Like
Right. No, I put in I think I put in K Bear for that one.
okay. Yeah, that's Street Fighter right there. That's so Street Fighter.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
literally if you turn King of Fighters into 3D, like that's what it would look like.
And it's interesting because it doesn't care whether the prompts don't care whether you put in input a real person or a character. So I found I was getting better results when I was putting in actual like fictional characters
Yeah.
that have like that usually are associated with a particular actress, but are actually open to interpretation. So for example, if you were to try to put in what's her name, Emma Watson, that would be a completely different thing for if than if you put in Hermione Granger.
Really?
Yeah, you would get a much better result by putting in Hermione Granger.
Huh.
Because then it can look up the literary description and try to find keywords based on that, which does deviate.
That's interesting. Some of this shit is just beyond me.
I've been playing with it for a minute now, mostly because I really don't see it going anywhere for artists.
It kind of can't.
It's not in it's not our decision to make as artists. It's literally the publishers and owners and the people who run the studios.
Yeah.
We have very little say in the matter if it gets implemented on a large scale on AAA projects. It just doesn't work that way.
Right.
Like the artists want to rail against it. That's fine. I get it. I really do. It is. You're doing a whole lot of theft. But at the same time, how much of that wasn't already happening under the AAA sphere anyway? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How many times have we have how many times have we gotten? like a piece of art in a game or a movie or whatever, and they start to publish it, and then someone comes in and says, "Nope, you stole that. That is mine." And now the entire project has to backpedal and fix and get rid of the artist and completely re-scrap and redo the whole thing because they completely stole it. The
Shit.
problem is exactly the same. It's just more technical now.
Yeah. Well, that's why they're going to be in a permanent double bind with this stuff, where they're like, we literally don't know what to do here.
It's digital plagiarism, baby.
Yeah. It's
But
not like you.
any real artist tell you still like an artist, you use enough sources, it's not the same.
Yeah. I don't know. That's where, to some degree, like this stuff only really works if you start getting rid of like. You either have to go back to really like old school patronage houses so that you can't steal because you're doing everything under somebody's banner and they have final editing power, which is like,
You
is
gotta
that
you
really
gotta ha-
art?
you gotta have enough respect to do the actual conception and ideation process. You
Yeah.
can't just output the first thing that you see or the first thing that you think looks cool. Like when I was generating the Michael Jordan Peterson image profile picture for Twitter, you know how many iterations I had to go through to get that? A couple hundred. I had to literally learn the correct prompts to put in to get it correct.
I mean, that one is flawless though. That it
It
shows
is though.
you.
It is though. And that's literally the strength of the AI.
Yeah.
It did it in a way that I would have never been able to do it.
It was. I have to give it credit on that one. It was really smooth.
Mhm.
But there's only like, as I was saying, there's only two ways I can see this thing going, right? You have to go back to like a patronage style. That way you can avoid stealing people's IP, right? Which that sounds terrible to have to like basically pick like a family of micro celebrities to be under to be able to use that likeness and stuff like that, or generate things near it, because of course people like, they won't just copyright themselves. They copyright variants thereupon that could be feasible to them, and they're like what they can see immediately, right? And they'll cast the widest net possible just to cover their fucking
Mhm.
asses. So that's a
Basically,
huge problem.
basically destroying the whole concept.
Yeah. The other option is to some extent annihilate the notion of intellectual property, but that has people freaked out.
That's the one.
Well, I mean, I've told you how I feel about the subject before. I feel like the solution
We've
is,
had whole episodes.
yeah, I mean, the solution is the artist should be paid upfront on a commission basis rather than compensated for the end product as if it were like hyper important. You know what I mean? Because that way,
Mhm.
if it's not used, it doesn't matter. The artist still got their fucking cheddar. They're still
Mhm.
good. Plus, a lot more people would be invited in, meaning you can mix and match more. It has a lot more fluidity and flexibility. Uh, and there's less worrying about like, oh, geez, did Disney do this in, I don't know, fucking 80 years ago? Who gives a shit if they did? It changes nothing. It changes absolutely nothing. We can still just do this and merge these styles. You open up more creativity. You open up the concept of the remix. You blow that shit wide open. I don't know.
Yeah, AI completely lays bare the flaws in the intellectual property system in a way
Yeah.
that I wouldn't have imagined possible years ago.
No.
You can literally just say I want to make another Disney princess and generate your way into finding the perfect candidate,
Yeah.
and then make a animated movie based on that when it's basically just Disney.
You can, and it's like fucking convincing, frankly.
Mhm.
You do it.
But that's also part of the issue of like of like creating these characters and styles that are made to be replicated on model by different artists. I mean, for years, you've had a whole industrial art section where, you're using model sheets, so you have no power to deviate from the style that is given before you because it has to work in sequence.
Yeah.
So part of it is self-inflicted. When you have these styles that you can't deviate from that are supposed to be distinctly you, everybody knows what it is. Of course, the AI is going to be able to pick up on that style.
Yeah. I want to see Dumbledore fucking Grindelwald AI porn.
And as you stay here, the styles don't really have that much of a difference at that high of a level that's supposed to apply to a broad appeal.
No, there's a certain way those things are done. I mean, that's why anime and Disney movies share more than a passing resemblance because they're based off, one's based off of the other.
I mean, honestly, if I were to be making some major big IP, I'd be like, okay, you just do over like what I mean. You could be cynical about it. You could be like, just do make it Overwatch, but make it a little bit more gothic.
Gotha Watch.
And that's what Near Automata.
Wow, holy shit, you're right. Where's that Kool-Aid coming from? I have a Kool-Aid pouch in front of me. I have no idea where the Kool-Aid's coming out of. The science on this makes no sense.
Kool-Aid, yes. I've had Kool-Aid in a minute. I'm so
Dude,
bougie.
the boxes are $3 a box for 10 pouches, and I gotta tell you, they're worth it. You just cut the top open and chug it. Be a man
You don't
about it.
use you don't use them. Oh, you don't use them bootlegs.
Don't use the straws, no. And don't buy off-brand like cold help.
Shit, the off-brand should be better than the real thing. I mean, until you get to like the blue electric blue frost shits. That shit can't be replicated.
No, the blue ones can't. Nor can Sharkleberry Fin.
But if it's just cherry, yeah, you can find a good not off-brand cherry.
Actually, the off-brand cherry is usually better.
Yeah, usually better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this one was tight. I was looking at I got to a point where I started looking at different styles, and I started to put in like cyber goth, and I was like, wow, I'm actually starting to come up with something interesting here.
Yeah.
Cyber goth Street Fighter Overwatch character.
This is an
I,
interesting exercise.
that could be a whole nother. You know what I mean? That could be a whole nother IP, broad IP branch. Just that,
100%.
and I
Right
would eat
there.
it up. You would eat it up. Everybody would eat it up.
Yeah.
Overwatch, but make it fucking cyber goth. Hell yeah.
All right, I want to address chat real quick here. So the top would be Grindelwald, obviously. Jesus, that was obvious. Come on, chat, you're smart. I know you. You're smarter than that. Let's. Who's topping Dumbledore
Just
or
troll it.
Grindelwald? It's clearly
Just troll it.
Grindelwald. Yeah, you know that. You're trolling. That's not. We love you, but you can't troll us. That's not.
Grindelwald's definitely bottom.
Our relationship exists on trust, chat. You know that. And Anastasia is technically a Disney princess now. Yeah, correct. They own everything.
Is
Disney
she?
owns
Is she?
everything.
They bought fucking Anastasia.
They bought 20th Century
Damn.
Fox.
Oh, she was 20th Century Fox.
Hmm.
Huh. Does that mean Rasputin is a Jafar now? Like a
Yeah,
Jafar type villain?
that is 1,000% correct.
That's fucking tight.
Well, I like how many non-Russians were in that movie.
I know, right?
The closest one is John Cossack.
It was awfully honky for a Russian film.
Yeah, weirdly honky. What is this big titty Anastasia? Oh, that's her arms. I was like, why did the box art be big titty Anastasia?
Big titty Anastasia.
Yeah.
And a titty.
She also like you should not draw her like she's a fuckable woman. That's all I'm saying. That's not. If I remember right, she was a child, wasn't she? Yeah. This
To
is weird to me.
Anastasia?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's supposed to be like 16 in that or something, right?
Yeah. And not like an adult looking 16. There's no like, oh, we
No,
made a
no,
mistake coming
no.
here. That's a
No, like
child.
obviously not, yeah.
Yeah, there's not like we accidentally we're fucked up and
Was
we
that a
misread a
Freudian
room.
slip, sir?
Fucked out. I was gonna say wigged out and fucked up, and then it came out as fucked out.
No. That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
they turn it out Anastasia in this fucking movie. That's not right at all.
Anastasia.
Yeah. This is
I do remember Anastasia back in the day. It was pretty tight.
Was it? I never watched it.
It was good. It was good. It had um that weird Don Bluth kind of vibe where everything's kind of like kind of darker than you would expect for a movie that's animated like that.
Yeah.
You know how like all dogs go to heavens is kind of like gritty feeling almost.
It does have a vibe that you
I
do not
think
expect.
I think TV tropes refers to it as the animation ghetto.
Yeah. Well, that style was part of the animation ghetto because it's like it's not quite Disney. The eyes aren't big enough, and they use those. They tone down the colors. They don't have those soft watercolors, and they don't
Mm,
have like the bright colors. Like compare it to something like Little Mermaid, or even like The Lion King. Like The Lion King looks darker than it is, but it definitely pops as like even though it is like thematically too a way darker thing. Like if you compare like the Little Mermaid to like Anastasia, like fuck no, dude, get out. And it
hmm.
like Little Mermaid looks like a fucking candy store.
Oh yeah, sure. But it makes sense, you gotta distinguish yourself somehow.
Yeah, I too like the term animation ghetto. That's rocks.
Yeah, well, they were laying out the argument that they'll have a renaissance, and then they'll have a fall, and then they'll have a period where it's just like straight up in the ghetto, like straight up in the like like hood is like the animation period where it's just like no budget, no restraints, nobody's really watching, nobody fucking cares. Sure, why not throw out a cat porn hentai but western thing way back in the day. What was that? Fritz the cat?
Fritz the well,
Sure,
Fritz the cat was the beginning of an
sure.
era though.
Why the fuck not?
Fritz
but
the
it
cat
but
was
it
for
but it
grown ups.
came and you know what I mean? It comes from that like no budget time period where you know what I mean? Where nothing's happening and nobody really wants to invest
Yeah.
and the artists get a lot more freedom.
Well, look at like the animation in like Pink Floyd's The Wall, which it does look like shit objectively, but like it hits well enough. It's choreographed well, but it looks like shit. The Yellow Submarine movie is dog awful. Like it's ugh.
Everybody knows it. Yellow submarine, yellow
Don't
submarine.
sing Jesus Christ the lawsuit.
Yeah. I only said
You're
one word.
underwater on
Damn
a
it.
giant boat that
I
happens
said
to be
I said
yellow.
I said one word.
You can't. You can
Two
mention the
words.
name, but you cannot put it to a melody. We're fucked.
I didn't put it to a melody. I put it to a pitch.
God damn. Sony, listen, this was just a fucking. We're just riffing on how bad the movie looks. We're not stealing your IP. We did get silence for that, I'm pretty sure.
Already?
Yeah, that one, yeah, you can't do a
Just for
Beatles.
saying yellow submarine.
No, you can say it, but you can't.
You
See,
can't
right
say
there.
yellow sub. No, come on,
Yeah,
bro.
if you hit
That's
the
fucking
pitch right, yellow,
this content filter is stuff is bullshit.
it's fuck again. It stifles thought and creativity. And by the way, Yellow Submarine is a shitty looking movie.
Yeah.
It
It
looks
it
like
it
shit.
it didn't it didn't it was from that weird 70s era where what was it? The banana splits time, that weird shit.
Imagine having to hand draw Monty Python backgrounds
I
and then
know.
being bad at it.
Someone had to do that.
Yeah,
Someone had to do that for 24 frames at least
but then
per
you were
second.
but then you were bad at it. So the Beatles were like, "We're going to hire you now." It's fucking
Well, you
insane.
you know you know how it runs. It runs like everything else. The libs think that corruption is fully acceptable, so they have them nepo hires,
Yeah.
just trying to hire their friends or family or little second cousin who just started animation or whoever just happens to be the cheapest,
Well,
and that's when there you go.
that and the Brits are terrible at it. We all breathe on a big yellow boat. A big yellow
Yeah,
boat.
they don't
A
seem to
big
have
boat
much
that
of a
happens to be yellow.
they don't seem to have much of a understanding of appeal in art.
Sword in the Stone. I remember this movie, but I don't remember. I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah, I remember Sword in the Stone. That was pretty neat. It was
Oh,
definitely one of my childhood favorites.
It's the Disney ghetto era where everything's super bright, but the backgrounds are like that sword and sorcery shit they used in the 80s.
Mhm.
Even though this
Mhm.
was, mind you, this was from the 60s.
Like Page Master type shits,
Yes, Page Master type shit. So like what was old and clunky in the 1980s, Disney was doing new in the 60s. So it doesn't pop like if you're looking at it through the lens of like the amateur fucking animation historian, it doesn't feel bad. Whereas like in Page Master, you're like, this looks gross.
yeah, yeah.
Wait,
You know, it was like imitating real life. There was like rotoscoping and shit, and
uh-huh.
they just happened to catch all the gross lookingness of the real life,
Yeah.
while in essence, while like everything changes, it just still feels grody.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit has that feeling sometime.
Well, Who Framed Roger Rabbit was intentionally noir,
Yeah, I understand that it's supposed to be more gritty, but there's, you know what though, I got to give them credit. There's a lot of things they were able to pull off that like,
bro. They pioneered so much shit that like I call it a nexus, an art nexus, where motherfuckers was trying to catch up 20, 30 years later on techniques they were using and styles they were using and ideas they had. You know what I mean? The
yeah,
fact that they were able to get both Warner Brothers and what was it that part where Bugs and who's that other major character? There's a part where they got two characters. It was Bugs and Mickey in the same spot on the same shot where he's like falling endlessly, and then Bug shows up and he's like, "Oh shit!" And then he gets Mickey Mouse shows up. He's like, "Oh, oh snap!"
yeah.
You know, the fact that they were able to do that just shows like they got away with so much that would never, ever, ever happen again, ever.
Oh yeah. Well, you look at the effort they had to put into just to get Wreck-It Ralph. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all licenses and big deals and money and then of course like trying to get it to revive it is an impossibility. It has to be a one shot.
I think I just found my favorite fucking headline in a while.
What's that?
Jessica Rabbit is an asexual icon. Here's why that matters. It doesn't. She's a cartoon idiot. Like,
An
I,
asexual icon?
if you make
What?
if yeah if
How is Jessica Rabbit asexual? She's the most sexualized character you could possibly have.
yeah, well, apparently it's somewhere in the movie she says I'm not sexual. I'm just drawn that way.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. Well, the problem is like if you're the the problem to that kind of shit. This is the goddamn identity politics. The problem is
The
if
problem is they was trying to save their asses. That's all that was. You can't do that and then not backpedal at some point.
we'll work through that, right? Work through that for 5 seconds. The most important ace icon is fucking fictional. That's
Not a good sign.
probably not a good sign that your thing is real, right? Like that your thing deserves a modicum of respect and accounts in social taste, so that when they're coming up with story streams, like you can be included in those. Because if your only representation or your best representation is a fictional fucking hot woman, that's really undignified. And this is like it's just frustrating. You see this shit, and then you're like, I can't unsee it. I have to live with the fact that I saw that now.
You know how it is. They're obsessed with representation and not necessarily with further they can't really analyze what that representation means.
No, they can't. They can be like, well, there's positive and negative representation. Like it's really easy to see.
And half the time it's diversity without inclusion.
Yes, it's very easy to see. Yeah, because clearly, like a woman didn't draw Jessica Rabbit. Those curves, even if they went for
No,
sexy woman,
no.
yeah, you could have turned that shit down. So women clearly weren't consulted on that.
Honestly, it was probably a gay man.
You think?
Yeah,
She
typically that's usually how it ends up happening.
she does have Queenie vibes, doesn't she?
And they're probably looking at some kind of hyperfem, like
Yeah.
uh or or trans icon, honestly, because like the person who did Ursula was some gay Filipino man, and when he did it, he was like modeling her after RuPaul, I believe.
Huh. I thought it was somebody
It's
else,
interesting.
but it's
It's
somebody
interesting.
I know it was modeled.
It could have been someone else, but it was definitely an LGBT icon.
Divine.
Divine, that's the one.
Divine. Yeah, I knew what you were talking about. I knew it was a drag queen.
Yeah, definitely a queen. Yeah.
And it's almost like if like that Divine was like, fuck yeah, I got there, but like you also know like to some degree that was probably like some kind of like an insult. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, because of course she's the big bad. Of course.
Yeah. Lizzo talks not getting the role of Ursula. Is that what you want to be known for? As a giant purple sea hag when you're Lizzo?
Well, I mean, you do get the bag.
I mean, yeah, you get the Disney money, right? The Disney money's
You
good.
get
It's a good
that's
paycheck.
that's that's not a small check. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a small check, but like if
They
I'm
did end up
Lizzo,
giving they did end up giving it to Queen Latifah, right?
I I thought in the musical they gave it to Queen Latifah, and in the live action Little Mermaid they're giving it to Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, that's right. There is a live action. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that one
I,
looks.
rem- I remember them bitching over Ariel being black for a while.
Yeah, oh, they're still. I mean, they're still all fucking out of whack on that. But it really doesn't matter what do they think's gonna happen? Like if she's white, she can have white babies. Like what do you think? Do you think the fictional character is gonna have your white baby, and it's gonna be different now that you're in your
The
fantasies gonna make a race
conservative mind
baby?
is conservative mind is so warped and stupid that it all of it just defies explanation. Like you guys try to explain this shit sometimes, and I really don't understand. But I mean, I get where you're coming from, and some of the foundations. But once you guys start going into it, I'm just like, wow, this is completely brain dead.
This is the hill you want to die on about Western culture?
Right? It's like, come on, the fictional mermaid.
Yeah. You
Because
want to
there's really bitches running around with fucking mermaids tails. Okay.
the
You want
best
because you just wanna fap to some fucking mermaid chick. Okay, guy.
and good news, the redhead's still around. You can Google her, right? Like she still exists.
Mhm.
Or you can have your girlfriend put on the tail. Well, I
This is
mean
a,
they
this is a
can't.
and this is in a time when they're doing alternate universes and alternate versions because they know that diversity sells. They don't give a fuck what you think, conservatives. They don't
Yeah.
care. They do not care. They do this. They say get woke, go broke. No, bro. They're doing this to get money.
Yeah. That's why we don't like it
if they
because
were
it's a
not
ploy.
if they were not getting money, they wouldn't do it.
I mean,
Period. Period. With a T.
yeah, but for real though. Like,
Oh, Bud Light hurt my feelings with their can, bitch. Do they care?
yeah,
You
they
know,
were.
how many gay bars is gonna eat that shit up?
Yeah. Everything's a short run crash. Here's the thing. What about when that fails? What about when they've
They're
hit
doing, they're doing it just in time for Pride too.
Oh, that's right. Pride is coming up, isn't it? Chat, when's
Mm-hmm.
Pride coming?
They're priming their pumps for their performative Pride.
Just fucking wait. Like they're such short-sighted babies because like just wait. Pretty soon you're gonna have a vicious return to the white athlete. Is what's going to happen. Like let's fucking be real about that. Because
Hmm.
once you've done your go woke, like that's the goal now is to oscillate between woke. Pride's July. Is it really that far out?
It is.
Oh yeah, they definitely want to get in the they want to get in the
They're
gay
priming
bars
their
before
pumps
then.
now. They're priming their pumps now.
You
Get
are
it
fucking
out.
right.
Get it churned, and so it's in circulation all around the nation by the time that shit hits. Hmm.
You are definitely right. They want that shit out there and they want that to be known as a thing that Bud Light is woke so that whenever fucking Pride
That's
hits.
why all of them did it.
Yeah.
Did you see it? Did you see the picture with all the fucking beer cans? And they're like, "Good luck buying beer." That's not the win you think it is.
Pride beer
It's
can.
not. I assure you, it is not the win you think it is.
Bud Light boycott switching to Coors Light. They're saying Bud Light. There's Coors Light has its own can. Jesus Christ. Bud
Now
Light.
you, now you, now you LGBTs can be as ice cold as the Rocky Mountains.
And you know what? You know what I love too on the Bud Light can? It has he him on it.
That's it.
Yeah, it has he him on it. Like that's amazing because like that's the nod to the system.
That is that is the most beautiful liberal non-commitment I have seen in a long time.
Oh yeah, the Coors Light has a rainbow in the mountains now. Oh my god, I'm looking at this Bud Light can is like if they were like this thing looks like shit, is it obnoxious? I would be like they're right. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like they're right. But like
Thanks,
when
thanks
they're like
conservatives. You just sold those cans, bro.
yeah, oh
It
it's
would probably if you
June.
didn't say anything, it would have been limited run. Is it June? It's June or July. I knew it
Pri-
was one or the other.
Pride's June. Yeah, so they are. Oh, it's second quarter. They're just buzzing for the second quarter. All right, we're done here.
Yeah, yeah, they're prepping. They're
Yeah.
prepping. They know.
Because even if they have
Um,
a bad time, they know they're going to be able to say like, "Well, look how well we did in this market."
look, we're so principled. We're the best.
Ugh. Sometimes
We
people
are the
do
most.
shit.
We are the most moral beer company.
Yeah, we're the woke beer company. You know what though? The funny thing, okay, the funniest thing about this Bud Light can is now you can get wasted. Ch- Chat, we'll touch it on that one in a second because thank you for reminding me. But the best part about Bud Light is now you can get like now they're like, see, lesbians, you can drink a shit ton of Bud Light and beat your girlfriend too. You're just equal to the straight men. What a
Sure,
fuck
why not? Might as well become a cop too.
yeah. What a piss poor marketing campaign. Can you imagine a rainbow fucking Punisher? A rainbow Punisher?
Rainbow Punisher. I like it.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty tight.
that would be fucking amazing. PBR, the official account at PBR, encouraged people to eat ass.
He just jumps in. He just jumps in. He says, "You're not supposed to beat up trans people." Then fucking shoots everybody in the room.
Not drinking this January, try eating ass. That's PBR. Why would you would never back down from now on? Go all in. Oh, that's going on Twitter.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Punisher. That's it, dude. I'm boycotting PBR for hating eating ass. Like Miller has been doing pro gay stuff since the 80s. Yeah, but you know what? Every white trash dude from around here drinks Miller High Life like it's the fucking king. Chad, I just want you to know that. Oh my god. Yeah. this is this is fantastic. Hold on, that's for you, buddy, so you can read the tweet. That's from PBR's official account.
Is that tweet they deleted?
Yeah. Their
I remember
follow up
seeing
though.
that.
PBR or ass? What's the difference? Pabst Blue Ribbon. Ask your mom. they Glenn, Glenn Danzig. You know, Glenn Danzig too. Just an aside. I love Glenn Danzig because now he's just doing your mom jokes. But his are like
Is that Danzig? Damn,
rate
that's
my game
hilarious.
case.
They set that up too. They literally they set it up and the person fell for it and they got him. They got their ass.
They did. The person who's pretending to be Glenn Danzig is amazing too. I'm sorry, it's not actually Danzig. Of course, Danzig's not on Twitter. He's trying to summon Satan. Why would I? Why would I assume that?
This fountain's not bringing enough blood. You promised all the blood I want.
Stanley,
Get down there and tell them to turn on the spigots. I knew
yeah,
I wanted to be raining blood in this bitch.
you get that fucking robot in here and turn off the spigots, or I'll be eating fucking my cereal out of your goddamn skull. For Stanley, yeah, man, we're cool. Tell that guy to put on a shirt. Shit. Oh,
Danzig.
goddamn. Yeah, the guy who's doing like the Danzig fake account, but he had me fooled for half a second, so I won't lie about that. He did. He got me. Got my ass. Um, I mean, he's like fucking. You know the woman who was like I can't believe she's gonna attack parents, and then in the same breath was like I killed my mom. Um, that woman who went on, she was talking to Brianna Joy Gray, and she got asked what woke is. It's that psycho.
Oh, that was her?
Yeah, she was like, yeah, she like they found a tweet in 27 from 2017 where she's like, I did the hardest thing ever. I took my mom off life support, but we're not just sure if she was gonna die, so we just killed my mom. Like if we had given her a
Wow.
week longer, my mom would be alive. And and
Wow.
Danzig's like that is the second most metal thing about moms I've been involved in. And then somebody said, "What's the first?" And he said, "Yours."
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, that shit rocked. Ah,
Jeez, man.
I know that woman's like, "Ah, woke is terrible. I wrote a whole book on woke. Ah, what is woke? You're not supposed to ask me stuff like that. You're supposed to be like, but I'm wham woke because my black skin, Brianna Joy Gray. How dare you? We're both doing racist identity politics right now, and you made me very, very uncomfortable." And she just turns into young Norm Finkelstein. That's my voice now. I'm trying to learn Norman Finkelstein's voice.
Norman Finkelstein.
Yeah, he's a trip.
Hey, you're gonna get the gamut of all the Jewish voices.
That's the plan.
You're, you're
What-
trying to collect the Infinity Stones here.
well, I won't do the Dersh.
Okay.
I won't do the Dersh. I can do Mark Maron. Sam has this weird like quack in his voice. I can't do him. And Woody Allen he's one of my default Jews. You know, when you think of a Jew when you're a certain age, it's just Woody Allen just being neurotic and having a seizure while he's trying to talk to his 15-year-old Korean stepdaughter about her periods.
Hey, you're the voice guy. You know a lot more than I do.
Yeah, but
I got I got my baby cakes, and I've been trying to work on
yeah,
a death metal roar,
baby
death metal
cakes.
voice.
Baby cakes is what? Yeah, I'm
Yeah, yeah.
doing it.
I'm doing
That's
it.
pretty good baby cakes, though. I'll give
I'm
you that. For
doing
not being a voice
it.
guy, that's a pretty good baby cakes.
Well, you explained how it works with the moving your voice into the back of your throat.
Yeah, that's like the.
Apparently, if you move your voice up, I've been trying to like learn the fem voice.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah,
there's like some tricks where you move your voice up and it makes it sound
yeah.
like a female voice.
It gets
But
a
I
little
haven't
closer.
I haven't I haven't perfected that one yet, so I'm not even gonna try it.
You can sound with the most you can do without like really starting to manipulate your throat. You can either do like, hold on. This is closer to. I think this is gonna be closer to Nancy Cartwright if I do this right. Like when she's old Bart. Watch the potty mouth, honey. Watch the
Yeah,
potty mouth, honey. Like you can do. I'm a woman who smokes 40 packs of cigarettes per day. Pretty
yeah,
easy.
yeah. You can't like all the spy agencies know like it's very difficult for dudes to pass as a woman, but
You have to have a tenor. You have to be a pure tenor to pull
but
it off because you
but
have to be able to
it's
go up to an alto.
yeah,
Like I can't
very
do it.
difficult.
But the other thing you can do, the other thing you can do is something like this, where you're not going very deep in the throat, and over the
Yeah,
phone
yeah. Part of it is
you will
cadence. A
temporarily
lot of it is
pass.
cadence too.
Yeah, but you have to lower your volume so low and then talk airy. Like
Hmm.
it doesn't pass. You can fool desperate dudes with that. Like
Hmm.
really easy. You could fool like a desperate guy on the phone, but anybody else would be like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?"
It's funny because I was searching the YouTubes for
Yeah.
how to do the fem voice, and then all of a sudden it was like, "Oh, hey, you're trying to pass." so so it sent me all these videos of like trying to pass. I was like, "No, what are you doing?"
Actually, you should watch those. And there's like nobody wants to talk about this, but like when you go through hormone therapy and you're transitioning, right? And you're trying to get the voice down, part of it is your cadence, but also is like your tenor. And the hormones help with that because they let you sound more confident in that tone of voice. But it really isn't that much different. You do try to intentionally like lighten your speech, if you will. And like you're like this is like if something was going to get us canceled, it is this right here because like people don't want to hear about the performance part of it because they'll be like, oh, being transitioning isn't a performance, but like it's if you're
Yeah,
alive in society, you are putting on a perform like we're putting on a performance right now, and then when we're friends off camera, we put on a different performance. Like settle the
I
fuck
mean,
down. That's not.
that's part of the thing they're trying to explain to everybody. They're trying to explain that it is a performance. No matter who you are performing gender.
Yeah, out of one side of your mouth, you're like gender is a part performance, but then when you point that out, like that's one of the few things where I'm like, okay, you guys gotta like settle the fuck down. You guys and gals need to chill the fuck out. Like, and like the thing is, like, is when they do that, like, you know what I mean? Like when I'm interacting with people like that, obviously you don't fucking be like, oh, you used to be a dude or a chick, right? Because like that's fucking rude. That's part of it, and you're trying to
I
like you're trying to socially help them too. Like you're trying to be a
I
team player
really
here.
I really, with a passion, hate this goddamn the fucking. Oh, it's male and female. It's only natural. It's natural. It's simple. That's not that's nature. You're denying nature. That is the natural thing. From even some of the best people,
Yeah,
smart people that I respect their opinion, even if they're not of the same, uh, they're not socialists. You know what I mean?
yeah.
People I still respect their opinion. They're coming at me with this. Oh, it's nature. It's nature. It's nature. Shut the fuck up. Nature is complicated.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You know
Have
what
you
else? You,
have you looked at nature? Have you studied nature?
you know what else is natural outside of
Well,
what's like a
it's male and females in the animal kingdom, bro. The animal kingdom? You mean the place with 21 goddamn genders in species?
yeah. Like you know what else is natural, right? You know what else is this is fun. This is always my favorite. What else
Death,
is natural? What's that? Death.
death.
Well, beyond that beautiful fact, right? You know what else is perfectly natural is having like an outside that looks like spitting image of a vagina, and then on the inside, those aren't ovaries, those are testicles, and nothing fucking
No,
functions right, and you're in constant pain. That's also natural. What gender is
that's
that?
natural.
TikTok, motherfucker. I'll wait. I'll wait, Captain
Oh,
Science.
bro, that's science. That's basic biology, bro.
Yeah, that is basic biology. They'll be like, well, it's biology gone awry. Yeah, because nature doesn't give a shit about perfection. Nature gives a shit about DNA and however the fuck it fires. So, like,
Oh, so you're telling me it's so simple when you can look at the fucking genetics, which then turns into phenotypes, which then turn into hormones, which then become
yeah,
hormones expressed in different ways in the body? No, no, bro. None of this is simple.
I got bad news. If you have an X and a Y and your X fires and your Y doesn't bother to fire properly, your best you're hoping for is a tiny fucking dick. That is the
Oh yeah,
best you're hoping for because you are
yeah,
not
yeah.
everything else beyond that. Oh, you wish this was fucking bottom surgery, my friend. You
Your your your
wish.
your your daughter is trying to figure out why she's getting Adam's apple and body hair all over the crack of her ass. Turns out she has an XXY.
Yeah. I mean, and then these motherfuckers are like, "That's a woman." It's like, are you sure? Are you
Are
sure?
you sure?
Are you sure we shouldn't account for performance a little bit on this part? Because otherwise, like nature said, it's not one of those two options, my friend.
Nature laughed in your fucking face.
Nature mocked you and your fucking stupid god yet again. Your dumb bitch god got owned by three strands of DNA. How the fuck do you
Mhm.
feel? Yeah.
Mhm.
So when they fucking run their mouth like that about trans people, like doing the thing, you know what I mean, to like feel better. Like, all right, fuck off. That's what.
This trans hate shit is really, it's just really, it's getting to the point where it's getting my goat. I can't shut the fuck up about it anymore.
Yeah. Well, 'cause
I see it, and then I'm like, oh, let me go in, let me go in.
they're all
You
over this
fucked their
shit.
day up.
Like you know what? Okay, first off, it's always people like that. Graham Lineman has like my body type, but he's 5'2", right? So it doesn't look
Right?
like he's like a jacked big dude, like or just like a big farm. Like I look farm boy strong right now, right? And whether or not I am is up for debate, but up for severe debate. But that's what I look like. I look like one of those big barrel chested Midwesterners, right? Whereas like this Graham Lineman fuck is like he looks like me if you shrunk me. So he's just like this portly little Eggman that like does not
Eggman.
and like I'm just like if you want me to be mean, like I don't know how you can talk about masculinity when you look like a fucking egg and you have a lesbian's haircut, right? Like how are you gonna lecture people on what is a fucking alpha? How are you gonna lecture on masculinity?
I hate
J.K.
that. It's
Rowling.
always it's always some weird Andrew Tate looking ass motherfuckers talking about I'm an alpha.
I wish dude. I'll have to show you Graham. You remember when I made that post that was
This
like,
motherfucker has you have no goddamn chin. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
oh yeah, a chin and he's got like they've worked out their chest so far they have tits. Like and they're like, I'm a fucking alpha. It's like you have B cups. Like
Right?
I don't know what to tell you.
You got moves, bro.
Yeah, you got a woman's ass in B cups. The fuck are you on? You need to settle the fuck down. You need to look at yourself first and decide if it was worth it before you're like, I need to go mock trans people. Like that's what you need to do.
I hate body shaming, but bro, if you
No,
can't look in the, if you can't look in the same direction as me, then don't fucking talk to me.
yeah, but no, Graham Lineman. Do you remember when I was like, why do turfs always look like they're melting?
Right.
That guy.
Conservatives in
It's
general, they're
it's
just melting.
yeah. It's that guy who's like his face is fucking runny. He's 5'2" and he's shaped like an egg. He's like, you know what would be cool if I went down to the lesbian bar and got like and modeled my hair after them. But I'm gonna talk about how I'm a fucking heterosexual man and like I am not contesting your sexuality. What I am saying is that if you were to present, you would present as like an old nasty lesbian who was rude at the grocery store, right?
Right.
So like if you were to just let nature dictate how you are and there wasn't a performance element, that's how you would present. We would all think you were like, oh, who's this like fat ugly broad? And like, oh no, that's a dude. Oh, okay. And that's a dude who's under 50. That's depressing. Right? Like, so like when these fuckers do this shit, it's like you are fucking mocking these people for trying to live their life when it takes everybody in the world warping their opinions of what masculinity is just to make sure you fit the definition. Because there is no like in these people's traditionalist ideas, there's no way you fit in. You need to like you are dependent upon people accepting something about you that you simply don't have. You look like a fat grandma and you're like, oh, I can't believe where the alpha males have gone. Like, shut the fuck up. You were never one of them. You were never an alpha male. You can't throw a punch. You couldn't lift a hammer without spraining 4 parts of your body, 3 of them not involved in the lift. So, like,
You're an alpha with front butt.
yeah, you have a fupa. Like, you need to chill. You're a dude with a fat upper pussy. You have so much body fat around your penis that it's just a vagina. So like you have to like
They got a micro. I'm an alpha.
they don't even have a mic. Like you just look like you have a large clit. Like just settle the fuck down, dude. And like the thing is, nobody in this day and age, if you weren't mocking trans people, nobody would be pointing this shit out because that would be fucking cruel. But if you want to live in a world of
Look
cruelness,
at
let's
them.
talk
They look
cruelness.
so weird. Don't look at me. I'm not weird at all.
Like I present as a fucking Midwestern farm boy because to some extent that's what the fuck I am. Like
The other thing that gets me on the shit on the so-called trans debate, like the Jewish question, is the fucking violence thing, like the fucking violence thing, or the what do we do about the blacks? The fucking violence thing. The, oh, it's not violence. It's not violence. It's fucking social murder, bro. It's murder. It is
yeah,
murder.
what you are
Point blank.
doing is
Period. Murder.
establishing motive for others.
If you're bullying somebody to suicide, it is murder.
Yeah, you're fucking accessory. Like by the law standards, you would be accessory to a crime.
It is definitely not legal.
Yeah, And these are fucking
this is just they just have hurt feelings. It's hurt feelings ain't hurt nobody.
the
You sure
best.
about that?
Yeah. You
You
know what
sure
though?
about that?
Like the thing is, like what the solution to that is kind of counterintuitive because the solution is to hurt their feelings. Like, do you
Right?
need to be reminded of why we don't act like this before? Because I can pull out 80s toxicity. Again, I'm 6'1", dude. I can bully you all I want. Put me in the ring with any of those transphobes. Put me in.
Just don't do that shit. Don't do this shit with me in the room. You gonna
Yeah,
get clowned. You gonna get clowned like black people like to clown people.
exactly. You're gonna get
And
fucking murdered.
we clown people.
Fuck yeah.
Don't come in the room fucking musty, or you will be sent home crying.
You will clown them, and I will berate them as a Jewish father can. That's just that simple. Like, you fucking shut up. Like, you could just shut up, and then it wouldn't be a fucking big deal. And then, by the way, like, I can't stress it enough. Like, these white male motherfuckers who jump in on this shit, you would benefit from it too because your appearance would be off limits. Like, that's the
Yes,
thing.
conservative motherfuckers.
Yeah, Graham Lineman has a fat upper pussy, and like he's like,
Ashy
oh,
ass energy.
these
Walking in talking
trans
shit about
women,
people.
these trans women are hideous, or like fucking Jordan
And then and
Peterson.
then and then it, and then it always turns out that they're into them.
Oh, most definitely,
you, you
Graham.
you you look at their hard drive and it's nothing but transport.
Oh, Alex Jones is for sure. Nick Fuentes is for sure. Graham Lineman, definitely, definitely.
It's fucking insane.
You know the thing is like if you look at what the fuck was that? Let me try to find that actress. Okay, let me try to find that actress. I'm really gonna
Do
go off.
you, fam? Do you, fam? Fucking, it's not violence. What definition of violence are you using?
Yeah, there's a reason they got rid of bullying, motherfucker. The new black cast. Let me find the cast here because like if I were to show you two pictures,
Oh, then you don't mind if I violently mock you.
yeah,
use my
non-violently
vi-
mock
use
you.
use my vicious mockery skills.
Where the fuck? There's an actress I keep thinking of. She plays a lot of butch lesbians. She's a thicker woman. But if you compare her to Graham Lineman, like you would be heavily convinced Graham was the butch lesbian. Like
Okay, I'm sold. Who is this?
I'm, uh,
You were selling it. You have my interest.
Graham is it Linehan or Yeah, here it is. He's only getting better with age, by the way.
I'd never know anybody's names.
He's some fucking loser from Turf Island.
Oh, Turf Island, of course.
Who's getting worse as the years go. He's got a vagina, like he has something fucked up with his mouth, so he has like a vagina face. He's just a giant fucking turf. He's a weird pervert. Like these are mind you, these are his press pictures where he looks good. Let me find. Here we go. Now we're starting to get there.
Yeah, he looked like I don't know, bro. He looked like a train hit him.
How does your face have a camel toe? What's wrong with your eye?
My dude looked like he got hit by a train and the train
You want to talk about trans
train
people or
thing
ugly
merged
women or what the
into him.
fuck ever? All right, fair game, dude. Like, tell me this does not look like.
Damn.
Tell me that doesn't look like a couple that's gonna go buy a bed and breakfast, and then I want to hear about how masculine he is.
When you said melting, bro. How
Yeah.
the fuck did he back that chick? That can't be. He can't be. It's got to be Photoshop, bro. He don't even look like he belong in that picture.
Oh, and by the way, he's a traditional feminist, right? Because he shoots for all other women's rights except trans women's rights. So
A
he's just a stock
traditional.
feminist.
Skirt,
Susan B. Anthony feminist. Oh, here we go.
skirt. Traditional feminist?
Yeah,
What
like
the
Susan B.
fuck?
Anthony. You know, like I don't like black
You mean
people.
you
I don't
mean
like
first
trans
wave
women.
feminist?
Yeah,
You
first
mean
waivers.
pro rich white women and nobody
Uh
else?
huh. Look. Now we're getting really sexy right there.
Jeez.
You
Ugh.
fucking your chin has a fupa. Like this is fucked up, dude.
Ugh. He's my dude is giving the Huts a run for the money.
This, by the way, this isn't socialist theory night. This is us just being catty bitches tonight.
Oh yeah, I'm being a
Yeah.
queen tonight.
Yeah, we are totally queening out. It's not like we're the hottest people in the world, but I'll tell you what, like when it comes to masculinity, we're toxic enough to assert it, and we're going to assert it all over Graham, right? This is the kind of guy who needs dunked in a toilet. He has not been sufficiently bullied to shut the hell up about this stuff and learn some empathy for people who are getting bullied. So, like, we're going to have to fix that firsthand. Gender
Mhm.
scandal is bad news for you. Okay, yeah, you have a comment on a gender scandal. Like you are a walking gender scandal, you fucking weirdo. This
He's
is
just he's
absolutely
just
kind of.
mad. He's just mad he couldn't transit. He could never transit.
Well, that's what J.K. Rowling's mad about. She's all pissed off that she couldn't be a dude.
Yeah. Oh, actually, they were finding. I don't know if it's true or not, but they were finding that she had face feminization surgery
She did.
and a whole bunch of like Botox and shit,
Yeah, she did.
which is hilarious.
Cause she was,
Hilarious.
cause she was just an old, like the thing is too, like she didn't need it. You know
Mm-mm.
what? To be fair, if I were her, I would have actually gone through with it because I didn't want to look like fucking who was Epstein's girlfriend? Fucking I don't want to.
All she needed was a little makeup.
In 2000, she looked like Ghislaine Maxwell. Like I would have done it too, but for completely different
She
reasons.
she looked like exactly what she is. She looked like someone who's been a stressed out writer for years.
Yeah. Well, she's trying to look hot.
Girl,
All she
girl,
did.
girl, put on a little makeup. We'd hit.
Well, what
Not
she's doing
now.
now.
Not after the shit you've been saying. No, not now.
This is who she's ripping off too, right here. She's
Oh,
just
you got the
ripping off.
exact person?
Yeah.
Oh, that is her. That is.
Yeah, she's just ripping off Tori Amos. It's fucking. I've been campaigning on this for years that we have to protect Tori Amos because Tori Amos doesn't say this kind of horrible shit.
Yeah, Tori Amos. Yeah, protect Tori Amos. I'm down with that. I am down.
Yeah, she doesn't say horrible things like this.
Yeah, she
Fucking
didn't need to do all that. She just on her white woman shit.
yeah. She did. She went. I'm a rich bitch, and now I'm gonna do this shit. I'm gonna look like Tori Amos, who's infinitely hotter than me, which is true, but it
Off the
doesn't
damn.
matter. And but like again, I can't stress it enough. If you told me that in 1998 that picture of J.K. Rowling was actually Ghislaine Maxwell, I would believe you. If you remember, Ghislaine is the one who did all that horrible shit to kids.
Yeah, that's the Epstein chick.
Yeah, and you want the proofs right here. Proofs in the pudding, my friend.
The proof's been out there forever.
No, but not. I mean, obviously for that, but I mean the face. Look at the faces.
Oh, she did a feminization too?
No, but they look before J.K. Rowling was like, I need to look like Tori Amos. That's
Mm-hmm.
like look at those faces. Like that's the same woman. That's my
Mm.
conspiracy theory. J.K. Rowling and Ghislaine Maxwell are the same person.
I sure hope not.
That is also going on Twitter because I can't wait. That joke is gonna get erased.
that would be scary.
And like we sound like assholes right now, but like let's face it, like the thing sometimes we're missing is a bastard. And don't worry, we're two bastards.
Oh yeah,
Like we don't honestly believe in judging people on their appearance in this manner, but if you're going to bring it up, if
bro, I'm black.
you
Bro, I'm black. They don't like shit. They don't like me no matter what I do. So fuck them.
yeah.
Respectability, my ass. They will still murder you. Fuck them.
Oh shit. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Laura Loomer are fucking going they're going toe to toe now.
Toe to toe.
They're going to fight. Oh, piss fight. Fuck yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh yeah. There we go. The walking anti-Semitism machine versus the woman who had plastic surgery
Sorry.
to
It,
look like an
this
anti-Semitic image. Yes. Something about
if
this
they were
timeline was worth it.
if they weren't such dickheads, I would feel bad.
You shouldn't feel bad for either of them. This is great. This is imagine watching two people you hate get in a fight. This is
Mhm.
great
Mhm.
for you. Doesn't matter who
Next
wins. They both
next
lose.
time. Next time on Celebrity Deathmatch.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, you're picking the same person, Nick Fuentes, the open neo-Nazi. I can't wait till Nick Fuentes and Ye both marry Marjorie Taylor Greene to bang her. And then Nick Fuentes cries the whole time because she doesn't have a dick. Fantastic. I'm telling you, same woman. They're the same person. Christ. What Ghislaine does is ruin things for bisexuals everywhere. Thank fuck that never caught on. She's like, yes, I'm into this gross old Jewish man with the egg dick, but also teenage girls. That's a buy we didn't need. That's a variant on buy we just don't need. I'm sorry, we don't need it. Egg dick
Oh
creepy
man,
CIA plant and pedophile. We did that's like a mashup we didn't need.
I'm super excited. Tomorrow I'm going up to see my fam to a different city,
Yeah,
and I'm also gonna go canvassing, collect some signatures for abortion rights.
there you go. What city are you going to?
I choose not to say. I try to keep the anonymity. We'll talk after the show.
Okay, all right, fair enough. That's a fair answer. That's good, man.
Cause you know these fast boys ain't playing, man. If
No,
they
they're
show
really not.
if they show up at my house, I can't keep my shit contained. I have very little patience for it.
Well, that's when you scream Castle Doctrine on camera and just start blasting.
Oh, I don't blast. I use my bare fucking hands.
Always blast, quick and dirty.
I stopped martial arts, so I don't have to register my fist as a weapon.
Yeah, I keep claw hammers everywhere in the house, just sprinkled as little Easter eggs for somebody who comes for a home invasion.
I gotta do what? Register as a weapon? Nah, 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 nah. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah. Nope. Nice try. Getting me on government docks more than I have to be.
Sometimes someone will be starting some shit, and I'll forget for a minute, and my brain will be calculating. Wait a minute, I could destroy this man. Like you'll start getting worried, and you're like, wait a minute, why am I even worried? I'm in no danger here.
I like your humility the most.
It's a game to me.
Yeah. Nah, it's fun.
Oh, how many ways could I destroy them? One, two, ooh, three, three.
Oh, fuck. See, I like, you know what? I gotta tell you, this is a total non sequitur and I don't give a shit, but I like the Cindy Room from Final Fantasy 15 cosplay trying to make it look like porn because you can't make that game look like more of a porn without penetration. Like, you just
Mhm.
can't do it. The way there's that shot I kept from my PS4 that I will keep forever where it's just like, this is a scene from a 70s porno, is what they did here. Like, like this isn't classy in any way. Like they really were trying to appeal to just the most racist white Americans, and I was like, you know what? Good on them for being honest. Good on
Yeah,
Square for being like open about the fact like that's all we're doing now. We refuse to do anything else.
yeah. They own it. They own it.
Yeah,
Not gonna get my support, but they own it.
you know, you got like that's the thing, man. Like at some level, if they're gonna own
The
it,
libs,
like
the libs are infuriating because they're always trying to act like they're not that.
yeah,
Meanwhile, they elect Jim Crow Joe, and I'm just like, fuck is you doing?
yeah. Whereas, like I said,
Nobody believes you.
giant difference is, of course, that like the Japanese are like, oh, we fucking own that shit. Put our name on it right now. Let people know. Advertise on the fact. Don't just put our name on it. Let us advertise on the literal freaking fact. We didn't want to hide it. They're like, no, 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 they're not doing it. And Square's like, bet, dude. Yes, we did. It's literally all we're doing. You know,
Square.
I guarantee they had a leak from like Persona 5 that was like they're going super woke or whatever the Japanese equivalent of that terminology is, and they're like, we have to do something to play to the racists. Fuck it.
You know, I've been trying to think about what a Persona 5 in America would look like.
Crap.
It
It
would
would look
be,
like garbage.
it would be, I don't know.
It would
I can't even conceptualize it because Persona is so very Japanese.
you would just be stopping a series like it would be like the most white nationalist thing, but you would be stopping school shootings instead of saving them. instead of like helping them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's it. It would not be like it's nothing you want to be a part of at the end of the day.
Right. Because like the Persona characters are supposed to be like rebels, and I didn't pick up that until like way, way, way later.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what your rebels look like in Japan? That's fucking crazy to me.
Yeah, they go fucking hard, dude. They go super hard.
I'm playing through Persona 4.
That's a good one.
It is. I still don't know who the killer is, so no spoilers.
I won't spoil it. It's weird.
I have a good idea, but it's Persona. I can't like. You're not sure. You can't be sure.
They don't really clue you into who the like. They don't really clue you in anyway.
Hmm.
But
Well, I have. Yeah.
here's the spoiler I will give you. It's a god. Now from that info, try to which one? Which one? There's
God,
956.
God damn it, Persona.
Yeah. Spoilers.
God damn it. Of course you gotta kill a god. It's an anime. God damn it.
Yeah, you knew that.
What was I thinking? I thought it would be a person,
Yeah.
like a human fucking being.
Don't think too hard because like I'll be honest, they set up who the killer is for shit. If you're not just Japanese and like Japanese and that you're super into Japanese lore. Like you don't only have to be you have to be so Japanese. Like
Mm.
you have to be so Japanese that your name I don't even know. I don't fucking it's so insane how Japanese you have to be to make this hit. I don't have it. Like that's the thing. I ran out of metaphors for how Japanese you have to be. You have to be Akihabara Street fused with Shinjuku, and then just
That's,
like you're
very-
taking your
that's
history
very
classes
Japanese.
there,
That's very Japanese.
and that's also where you take all of your history classes. Like that's it. I can't even begin. Like I can't give you a proper analogy. It's so Japanese, it's not human.
Well, good.
So like
I've been over here milking it because I didn't want it to end.
you can milk it all you want because you will never ever guess it, and it doesn't matter that you won't guess it because you know what? As long as you like do it right, you'll get the true ending anyway, and it'll rock, and you'll feel baller and badass. And then like in if you're playing the golden, oh they made it even
Playing
more
Golden.
Japanese.
I'm playing Golden. Yeah.
Oh, they super Japanese it the hell up then. Never mind. Like it's more Japanese than I originally described somehow.
Throw on a pile of extra Japanese. All right, guys, bring in the truck.
The problem with Persona 4 is that it wasn't Japanese enough in hiding who the killer was. So the solution is go more Japanese.
Go more Japanese. Dang, I thought I was having clues too. I'm like, oh man,
No, not if you can understand it, it's not a clue.
damn,
Like,
incomprehensible to the Western brain.
yeah,
It be like that though.
it
This
kind
whole
of
time,
does.
this whole time they're obsessing over meat. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Oh, it's a Japanese thing. Okay,
Uh huh.
gotcha. We're not in Kansas anymore, Toto.
No, you're not.
This is a Japanese game made for Japanese people, and you just happen to be along in the car for the ride.
Yeah, get fucking ready.
Man, we've been hood hopping all the topics today.
Yes, we have, and it's been worth it.
Yeah. You got anything else you want to go in with your
Oh,
theory? The Tori Amos theory? Tori Amos theory?
you have to be so Japanese that even Hirohito is like, damn, that dude's like that dude makes me look American. That's how Japanese you have to be.
That's Japanese.
Hey kiddo, it's past your bedtime.
You said
All
it was
right.
Japanese. This is
This is
Japanese.
so Japanese. This is Okay. This is Hirohito's son at his fucking coronation in Astro Boy cosplay.
If you need to go take care of your business, go do it.
No, I already did. Don't you worry. I'm a
Them
good
little,
parent.
them little motherfuckers dead. I see
I
you
did.
creeping out here. I see you creeping out here.
I
Go take
saw
your
you.
butt back to bed.
Yeah, it's cosplaying as Astro Boy Japanese.
Astro Boy Japanese.
Like you are getting some deep cut shit here.
Mm. And here I thought I was getting a handle on it.
Yeah, no, don't worry. So like the nice thing is though, that means that the killer is always going to be a surprise because as soon as you forget about that game and replay it, you're like, damn, that's who it was.
Right?
Like you can never not have the surprise with it, which is wonderful.
A god. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
it's
that
fantastic.
well, thanks for the heads up, cause now I can really take my time through the dungeons.
Oh
So I'm
yeah.
like, who is it?
Oh yeah, no. None of them have clues. There's nothing. There is one. You know what the thing is? How far are you in the game?
I am. I. This is the thing about Persona. They're so long that you don't know if you're even close to the end. I am after. I have. I think I have most of the crew.
Do you have the blue-haired boy?
I am. I am at the part where you're going to get them. It looks like.
Okay. Okay, so you already had the only
So
clue that will make any sense.
I've already talked. I've already talked to them briefly, and they've already introduced themselves, and um, it hasn't really hit the fan. I think I have like two people's like palaces to go to after this.
You do. Okay, so there was one clue in the entire game by this point.
Hmm.
All right, and you've already had it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I know what clue that is. Yeah, I think I have an idea,
You can tell
but I
me.
can't be sure. But I cannot be sure.
Tell me what the hint is.
I think it's that goofy looking dude.
Wrong.
Really?
Yep, wrong.
Because he was the only person that was with the fucking chick before she went into the.
Ah,
Okay.
but you said the true killer.
Oh,
Wrong.
okay.
It's wrong. That's not the true
Okay.
killer. Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, that's
Damn. Well,
again. Remember, hyper Japanese.
that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That you renewed my interest because I literally was in a dungeon and I fucking lost a bunch of progress fucking around. And I was like, God damn it, this goddamn fucking game. Now I gotta go back and do all this fucking bullshit.
Yep. No, don't worry. You didn't.
Now I you renewed my interest and I'll take my time. Wanted to throw my controller.
Yeah. Well, the good news is you can't even go. You won't even get the hint again unless you guess when they start solving who the killer is. You won't even get the hint again until that point, and you have to guess right. Like if you're playing with a
Damn.
guide, you'll figure it out and be like, really? But if you're not playing with a guide, I guarantee you can't guess it on your own.
Okay.
Yeah, save before you do it. That way you can do it like without having to play the whole game again.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. So I kind of like started looking at a guide and it was basically just said before you enter December you need to do X, Y, and Z and then say the exact right things. And I was like, oh,
Yep.
okay.
You do have to say the exact right things, and at that point they'll reveal the character that you're like, really, really. Yeah, it's bullshit.
Damn.
It's honestly bullshit. Like when they expect you, like how they expected anybody to do that of their own volition is just like it's ridiculous.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I probably won't have a chance to get back to it for a minute though. I got stuff going on. So much stuff.
No, I got you. But yeah, I like that's why I don't want you to worry is because there's no possible way you can screw that up.
no possible way. Okay.
Or put another way, there's no possible way for you to get it right anyway without a guide. So like just save and start trying things until you get the right answer. Because then when you see it,
Right.
you'll be like, how was that a clue?
A clue that's not a clue.
Yeah, there's only one legitimate clue in this entire game.
Damn.
Yeah, there's one. You're supposed to guess it off of one data point. Now, how in the hell is that fair? Like, that's the thing. Like, that's why. That's also
That's
why.
not a clue. That's a pump fake.
Yeah. Yes, you're entirely correct. It's bullshit. Nah, Persona 4. That's the reason I didn't like Persona 4 as much as the other ones, honestly.
Oh, okay. That
Like,
makes sense.
when you boil it down, the homophobia,
It's like,
the
cause like
homophobia
everything
was
else
pretty
is pretty
brutal.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, the homophobia was really brutal. In fact, I was wondering why I was wondering this whole damn time, like why we haven't had a gay persona character. Persona, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like an openly gay, like relationship with Joker or something. I'm like, what the?
They
Okay,
did. They did a decent trans woman before they did a decent gay character.
yeah. I'm like, what?
They did in Persona 5, they did Lala Chan, who was a better representation of a Japanese trans woman than they have had a decent representation of a Japanese gay man or woman. That I when have you ever played Persona 4 before? Or I can't go off on this, can I?
This is my first time. Yeah,
Okay. I gotta wait till you beat that dungeon. Let me know when you do because I will. We will spend entire episodes just talking about Persona and just get right to my breakdown.
I did beat Persona 5 though. I did play through that. I haven't played through Royale yet though.
Yeah, honestly,
I started it and then they dropped Persona 4 Golden and Persona 3 on the Game Pass, and I was like, well shit, let me try Persona 4 instead of playing the one I beat already.
Royale's worth it, but like not. I don't know how to explain it. I didn't
No, I
like it very
figured.
much.
I figured because I played Strikers and I'm like, this is kind of really close to 5.
Strikers was better than the Royale content, and that's an opinion that could get me killed in certain circles.
Really? Yeah,
Kasumi
because
sucks.
I did actually like Strikers. I did like it a lot. It did a lot to change the formula.
Yeah, they did really well adapting the game. The
Yeah,
problem
Kasumi was a weird addition. I remember seeing her and I'm like,
it's she doesn't show up till
so
November.
the whole point is that she's a femme Joker? Like that's not a
But
character. That's
that's also not who she is.
okay. I don't know who she is because I've never met her.
Well, she's not a female Joker. Okay, so when she was coming out, we originally thought she was going to be a female playable character. The in
Yeah,
Persona 3
yeah,
Portable, you got
that's what I thought.
you got the female lead, and her story was a little bit different, but it ends the same sad fucking way, right?
Hmm.
But her path to get there is different. She's more upbeat, and she's like she just has certain the way she talks to people is different than the male
Yeah, I
protagonist.
haven't beat Persona 3 yet because that one is ooh buddy, is those edges rough.
It is everybody in that game but Junpei is going on 35 with a divorce pending.
Damn,
Everybody, even the 8-year-old Ken, the dog is the same way.
damn.
Yeah. So like that's who we thought Kasumi was going to be,
Hmm.
right? Like that's who we thought Kasumi was going to be. That was not who she was. She was like in November when you go to the palace with oh my god, Makoto's sister, Sei. When you go to Sei's palace, she shows up for that sequence that's in the opening, and then that's it. Then she fucking bails. Like she,
What?
yeah. And then she's just like, I'm here for different reasons. And you're like, why the fuck are you
You
here?
mean they made a whole thing for no reason?
Yeah, because she doesn't show up until January, which wasn't originally a playable month. That's the DLC content.
Oh, it's
They,
DLC. Oh, okay.
yeah,
Fucking guys.
that's what I'm calling.
So you can repackage and make it and fucking throw it back out for another $60 again.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, in my
Okay,
case,
guys.
120, dude. I bought the special edition each time.
Oh, whoa.
I'm doing that on good faith because the next time they pull this shit where the Royale version is nothing but a
I'm
bad
playing. I'm playing.
DLC
I'm playing
character.
that bitch on. I'm playing them bitches on Game Pass. I got my Persona off of GameFly when I had that, and I was just holding on to it for like a few months, and it was like, hey, you could buy this for like $20. I was like, sure, fine. I haven't beat it yet, so.
Yeah. No, I buy them when they come out. Like it is my treat to myself because I don't buy too many games when they come out.
They are good. They are really, really, really badass games.
I
They do so much well. They do so much well.
yeah, they are I'm not talking about how hardcore they are because the Mega 10 nerds are right. They're less hardcore than the other Megami games, but also fuck those guys because like I have a life. I have achievements in my life I'm proud of, so I don't need how
Right,
difficult my
right,
single player role playing game was to get there.
right. I still haven't even gotten to finish the Final Fantasy VIII remake.
How
So I
was
still got that.
how
I still
was
got
that?
that for me. I'm liking it. The thing is, I wasn't a I'm okay. So preface this with, I am not a very big Final Fantasy fan. I've never have been, probably never will be. I just, everybody all of a sudden was just like, "This is the greatest game ever made," and I was like, "I think Chrono Trigger's better."
Final Fantasy VIII is rated consistently as one of the worst.
But no, no, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They still, with the Final Fantasy series as a whole, they say, "Oh, seven's the best. Oh, eight's the best. Nine's the best," and I'm just like, I don't really feel any of them are like the greatest game.
No, nobody says 8 is the best. Don't worry.
Okay, so
Nobody says that.
anyway,
But they will say
anyway,
9 is the best, which 9 also feels like shit to me. I don't like
anyway,
I
anyway.
like 8
For
better than
me,
9. Yeah.
it's just like it's a game. I like the systems. I like
Yeah.
how I like the way they do the ATB system, the active battle time, and the
Yeah.
remake. I think that's tight as fuck. But
Huh.
that's just me.
Is
But
that's
other
PC
than
only, yeah?
no, it's on the PS4 version too. Yeah,
Is it?
yeah, the real time combat. Yeah.
Well, you could do that in the original. You could set it to real time.
Well, they made it like like way nicer. Like it's like it feels like an action RPG to some extent.
Final Fantasy VIII's remake or Seven's remake? Are you Cloud or Squall?
8.
So you're Squall with the gunblade.
Yeah, and Sephiroth showed up.
No. Okay, so you're 7, you mean.
Okay, so I'm playing 7 remake.
Yeah. That's why I was like, how is
Jesus
the 8?
Christ.
They remade
Jesus
8.
Christ.
Yeah. No, 7
Anyway,
was fine. There are the fucking nerd purists are all up in arms about that. 7 remake is fine as its own game. And that's
I
that
just
is
I just I just really like I really like some of the battle systems. They did
mhm.
they did some stuff that you don't see in RPGs a lot that I thought was really really slick.
Yeah,
That
that
more RPGs should copy, honestly.
if the nerds really wanted to give Final Fantasy 7 the detriment, it's the best Star Ocean game there is.
I did like Star Ocean back in the day.
Yeah. Well, Star Ocean's also it's like Star Ocean is where they play around with those systems. Like,
Star Ocean and Lunar Silver Star Story
well, Lunar's a fucking gem, so yeah,
way
but
way back in the day. But that was
yeah.
back in the days when I was playing like fucking Shining Force and all kinds of fucking random ass RPGs.
Uh,
Because I was a kid. I had fucking time.
Yeah, right. Like I feel you there, but yeah, Star Ocean is where Square always played around with those systems, and that has culminated in the Final Fantasy VII remake, mastering it, in my opinion. And
Mm.
you're right, dead ass. It's just it's like that's the thing. Like a lot of those motherfuckers are like they're like, oh, it's totally different than 7. They changed the story and everything. Well, yeah, they wanted to because 7's so fucking iconic. They did not want to risk fucking that story up. Plus, they
Yeah,
wanted to
you
be able
fuck
to.
fuck that up, you're done.
Yeah, there was no way they were going to be able to do this to appease you people, so they just said "fuck you" is what they did. Like if you feel like this, that was Square's intent.
Well, it's an artist thing. It always happens. There's always a, like, you create a masterpiece. There's a temptation to come back and try to fix things, and that's the last goddamn thing you should do.
Yeah, that
You
is
will you will you will end your whole career trying to touch your masterpiece.
yes, that is how you know you're dying as an artist. Like it's time to go get another job because
That's why everybody makes. That's why we got fucking 14 and 14, 15 of the motherfuckers, because they can't touch the last one they did that was a masterpiece. So they got to make a new one.
Yeah.
Then an offshoot of an offshoot, and the spin-off of the offshoot, then a battle game of the spin-off of the offshoot of the offshoot.
Yeah. No, you're right though. Um, you would like Persona if you like the old Super Nintendo style RPGs and like the early PlayStation 1 RPGs, you'd like Persona 2 a lot.
Yeah, I remember seeing, and this shows how old I fucking am. I remember seeing in the old EGM magazines the original Persona showing up and looking at the pages and going, "Wow, this game looks really tight, but I do not have the system that plays that
Yep.
shit."
Don't worry, the original Persona game, Persona 1, it sucks shit. It's got a cool
Okay.
story, but you cannot get through it properly.
No, I remember looking at the characters, like in the some of the Persona. Like
Yeah.
I remember seeing Jack Frost, and I was like, "Wow, that looks crazy."
Yeah,
It's like the ice version of Wet Willy.
basically. And he's fun. He's a fun little bastard.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
in the original Persona 1 port, they did blackface.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and they
did
changed
see
it.
that.
Somehow it was supposed to be Chicago, but it was an extremely Japanese version of Chicago.
Really?
Uh huh.
Wait. When they did blackface, okay, but maybe I didn't see that because I did see a black character that looked like he
Mark.
didn't look black at all. Mark, yeah, I did
Yeah,
see that
it's because they just changed his skin color.
in the magazine. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, they were
But
like,
again, this is a game that I was never gonna play because I never had the system.
yeah. So what, like, the intent was, the fear was that it was too Japanese for the American market. So they had to make it look more American urban instead of Japanese urban. What they didn't count on is
Oh,
that Yeah, what they didn't count on is that they could have originally sold it as like, look, this is a role playing game in modern day Japan. You get to play as Japanese kids. Like they didn't think that would sell, which, given some of the
to be
reactions I get from people
to be
still about
to be
like,
to be fair, at the time it wouldn't have.
you'd
Now it
think,
will, but
I think it would have,
back then I think they were right.
I think it would have
Way
sold
back
like
then.
Disgaea, which it basically did anyway.
Oh, but again, well, where is this Gaia?
Well, like the counterpoint to that is the Persona games up until Persona 5 all sold like Disgaea 1. They sell exactly
True,
600,000 copies and then they're done.
true, yeah.
So like what why
They are very niche games. Yes.
yeah. So like why would you bother trying to mass appeal on something that only 600,000 people in America were going to buy anyway? Just go get your money.
That's what they were all doing. They were all trying to break that mold. It's something that like it's a problem that presents itself in any kind of genre uh fiction, I guess. Any genre fiction.
Yeah. And what like the
You know,
top
they all know that they're in that niche, but they all want to break out of that niche.
yeah. Like I agree. Like that's the thing though. Persona 5 had like an international flair, but at the end of the day, that's an excruciatingly Japanese game, right?
Mhm.
Everything,
Yeah.
even down to like how you fucking deal with regular day life, is so Japanese it's almost stifling. So like,
Right.
the idea that people didn't want to know about Japanese people, bullshit. That culture was
So
alive in
so
'95. It was
so
smaller.
what would be the quintessential Western RPG? The America,
Witcher,
the Witcher.
Witcher. Yeah, it's a libertarian power fantasy.
I mean, not set in America, like deeply American, set in America with American
Red
characters.
Dead,
Red Dead.
Red
That
Dead.
makes sense. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
everybody believes they're a fucking cowboy. For Europe, it's probably The Witcher. You know,
I couldn't do Red Dead because like A, I don't like that hyper realism shit, and
yeah.
B, I know too much about American history to be able to play that without fucking getting terribly pissed off every 5 seconds.
There were, to my understanding, there's too many black characters walking around like nothing's happening in that part of the country for that to be realistic at all.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
like, how badly would you want to see digital slavery? You know what I mean? Like, they're in a weird bind because like, there's
I
nothing.
Funny you should say that because I would actually play that. I would play that game. I would
Would you really?
if they did a game set in the antebellum South as like actual people. I think that would be fascinating, especially if it was like really historical. and unflinching and uncompromising in what it shows.
All right, we're gonna make the John Brown action RPG that culminates in you getting killed.
Hell yeah. Hell, I would play the fuck out of some John Brown fucking RPG.
It's the,
Are you kidding me, bro? I would fucking, oh, that'd be fucking tight.
the only good white man, says every honest black person.
The only good white man, and the cover would look like John Wick, but it'd be John Brown.
Yeah. The tagline is he really was the only good one. Like, every black person who's being honest.
Bro, did you see that side quest where you was aiding the Underground Railroad and you took out a whole fucking battalion of Klansmen?
Yeah.
That'd be fucking tight. I would play the fuck out of that.
That would rock so fucking hard. I can't wait till we have the Martin Luther King Jr. game, but it's a shooter. I can't wait for
Oh,
that.
I've been learning so much fascinating shit about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and just and all of it because like before I didn't have the foundation in socialism to understand like the true black history that was going on.
Yeah.
But now that I know, the more that I see the cycles repeating and the more I can dig into it and really find out the real facts. Like like the civil rights movement, the I have a dream speech, that was literally supposed to be like a fucking a confrontational workers rights like movement and they threw in MLK to fucking water it down and kill it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a psyop.
Holy
They told him
shit.
they told him where to go, what to do, what to say, and when to say it.
There's no way he was a psyop because he was coming
No,
around to X at the
he
end.
himself is not the psyop. It was the federal interventions that kind of were trying to do anything they can to stop that violent insurrection that was coming.
Oh, so they were like, hey man. So their connections like put him there.
Yeah, they put him there and they made it about race instead of making it about class. Sound familiar?
Oh, now where have I?
Instead of making it about race instead of making it about labor.
God damn it.
Fascinating.
We get no
Fascinating.
heroes. We get
Fascinating.
no. He's still a good dude. We just like
No, he's no. I'm not shitting on
yeah.
him. Like, he is the best of the dudes, but he was played.
I like how conservatives always would tout that speech and then immediately turn around and like get them blacks out my neighborhood. Like
hmm
no
hmm
irony there.
Every goddamn time.
Every goddamn time. They're like, isn't that a great ideal to aspire to? Oh, there's black people moving in down the road. Well, time to put the house for sale. Like what?
Yep. Time to leave. Time to leave.
I
Well,
don't
I
know.
don't want to live near him.
Gosh. Then I'd have to actually do what I said I was gonna do.
Yeah, and apparently Malcolm X was talking shit the whole time. In pure Malcolm X fashion. My man. Yeah, it's interesting that context, man.
Holy shit. There's a Chinese only version of the Persona 5.
A Chinese only version?
Persona 5, the Phantom X, also known as Persona 5X or P5X, is a turn based role playing video game developed by Blackwing's Game Studio and published by Perfect World Games. It's a spin off of Persona 5 and is officially authorized by Sega. It was originally announced under the alias Codename X in April 2021, only to be reannounced as P5X 2 years later. It is currently unknown if it will release outside of China.
Brilliant. Yeah, because you could totally, if you had the resources and the know-how and the ability, you could make a Persona 5 for all kinds of places, and it'd be really fascinating.
Oh my god, instead of Morgana, they have an owl. Rufuru. Luffy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to see the African Persona. I'll tell you that much. Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe Persona would be tight.
Why can't we just have this in America? This is amazing. Oh, I hope it's
Because
super pro China.
because America wouldn't buy it.
I would buy it. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm putting down 120 right now.
Right,
That's
but
also going to Atlas right the fuck now.
you're not the common. You know what I mean? You're not Disney Channel America. Yeah, American Persona would be fucking nuts.
I want P5. Oh my god, it would be. It would all be just school. It would all be school shootings.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The method of character obtainment is via a gotcha banner system.
That's very Chinese.
Jesus Christ.
They can't resist the power of the gotcha. They can't. They never can. They can't do it. They can never resist it.
Also, I think there's one girl.
China's come a long way, but not that far.
Why are the Persona 5 characters there? Oh, I guess you can gotcha the shit out of them.
That's bonus. That's bonus content.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I'll have to quit my fucking job. I'll just become a streamer and do that all the time. Giving
Yeah,
Incubus shorts.
you would need more seed money to do that. The motherfuckers would be open like $2,000 a packs in one show.
Yep.
And you're like, God damn.
They just did a gotcha version of Persona 5. Apparently you just gotcha anything.
Yeah, yeah. Gotcha's just the monetization strategy.
Yeah.
It's just loot boxes. It's literally just loot boxes.
Oh, this is so. Oh, wanmai.com. Yeah. Oh, this is so fucking Chinese. All right, let's do this. The rest of the show is just going to be me doing this, so I want you all to know.
What is
Japanese money. Oh, fuck. Muting.
That
Muting.
that Monkey King game looked really tight out of China.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it released or what happened to it. It was called like Black Legend or Black Myth or something. It was like Sun Wukong, Black Myth, Black Legend.
Like
Yeah,
here, hold on. If
it
you
was
can
just
get
flexible.
Hifumi as a if you can get Hifumi as a Phantom Thief, like I'm just getting I'm just region locking myself to China. Like I'll just download it that way. How the fuck do you like that?
It's an owl. Yeah, you're right.
No, look at the thief though. Look at the thieves. Like they look tight. Like
Yeah,
that looks
they
tight.
do. They do. They do. They got it. They got a flair for style, man.
They really do. Like we you just give us her. It's fine. Just don't.
Shit, the owl looks tighter than Morgana.
The owl does look super tighter than Morgana. Even as a thief, the owl looks tighter. Just give us all this. It's fine. We still love Morgana. It doesn't matter.
I feel bad for them because Persona 6 has got an impossibly high bar.
Yeah, they have fucked up by doing this. And the concept for Persona 6 was originally that you would go on a vacation with your friends and shit would go down.
Oh, so that's how Persona 5 Strikers happen.
Yep. Because that was the original concept for Persona 5 that they scrapped because they were like, we don't know how we can make that work.
Mm.
So then it was like, let's do it for Persona 6. Then they're like, let's do it for Strikers. Yeah, Strikers. Punt that
To be
ball.
fair, it was like super uncanny though. Everything worked out so perfect. It was like all on rails.
Well, Strikers only works because it's on rails and it's a Dynasty Warriors game.
Yeah.
But it's fine. And like I agree, they did overuse too many themes for Persona 5, but like I'd still go back and play Strikers. In fact, once I'm finally
But
fucking
it's a spin-off. It's like your Majora's Mask, your Legends, your Ocarina of Time.
yeah, give that just a few years and I'll be playing Strikers again on a replay.
Yeah. Yeah, I played it. It was good. It was fun.
Yeah.
The
Sophie's
Dynasty Warriors. I hope they keep some of the Dynasty Warrior stuff. Honestly.
I don't think they will.
No, because they didn't. The spamming the magic just wasn't very fulfilling.
No, it was too well that and it was too fucking easy. Let's face that.
Well, that's because you could spam the
Yeah.
magic.
Suddenly you were the wizard from D&D and it's like, oh, this is a joke now, right?
And there's like no other way to like have any challenge or any kind of alternate strategies or anything. It needs work, but I do hope they keep some aspects of it.
I hope they just do another one of those.
That could be, yeah, I could agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I would totally agree with
I
that.
hope they're willing to do it. Hoping they're willing to explore another crossover. Because doing that with the Shadows and Persona 3 would be amazing. But like Persona 3 already has a spin-off game and it sucks. It has
Hmm.
a lot of spin-off games, but like the Persona 3 um the answer it's called, it's the side game, like it blows.
I'm kind of interested in the idea of the of these you know how the Phantom Thieves are like the first or the only ones that are like in that world. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be a social thing. Like why aren't there other groups and other people and other organizations involved in that?
Oh, and like the Phantom Thieves?
Well, not just the Phantom. I mean, like in that subconscious world. The
Oh, there's a ton.
are there?
Oh yeah. Oh, holy shit, dude. You know what? Next week we are going to go deep in Persona lore. But the bottom line is all of the Persona users in Persona 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 all exist in the same world. As long as they're alive, they may not be actively in it, but they all share a bond. Yeah, in
Oh,
like Persona 3 and 4, this always warmed my heart. But in Persona Q, another spin off, you can play as Persona 3 and Persona 4 characters, depending on which protagonist you pick. But what happens is during one of the school festivals in Persona 4, over a 24-hour period, you get sent back in time to Persona 3's timeline. It's because somebody's doing extra shit. Meanwhile, during one of their school festivals, somebody's pulling this shit. So then the two
oh,
groups, like at first, they're like, who the fuck are these guys? But they meet and they work together. And what's important about that is like in Persona 4, you see a girl named, I think it's Chiharu, I think is her name. Justice Arcana Persona 3. Chihiro. So Chihiro is like a young girl in Persona 3, right? She's like your age, but she's about
hmm.
18 by the time of Persona 4 because it takes place a couple years later.
Chihiro.
Yeah, Chihiro Fushimi. But she's in Persona 4 briefly because she comes from Gekkoukan High School up to their high school.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like you see her as like an older character and she comes out of her shell a little bit. She doesn't look like a kid no more. She looks like a grown ass woman and she's kind of smoking. Um, Whereas in Persona 3, she is just a total dork.
I do remember seeing her in
Yeah.
Persona 3, even though I didn't really get that far in it.
It's for reference, this gal.
Yeah, I remember seeing her in Persona 3. You said she appears in Persona 4?
She does appear very briefly in Persona 4 because they go to Gekkoukan High School. That's kind of also what sets up the premise. Here, I'll show you. You haven't probably gotten there yet, but this is not like an important plot spoiler. This is literally like a see, we remember we wanted to make sure you knew that Persona 3 and 4 take place in the same universe. That's all this is.
Interesting. So all of these, okay, that's
Yep.
nuts.
Yeah, that's the only reason for that scene to be in there is to remind you they all take place in the same universe. It has no bearing.
I missed that entirely.
Yeah. And she's like, I think she's the head of student council by that point, if I remember correctly. This is some deep cut shit for me because I have not done this in a while.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have the episode where we just go and dig into Persona then.
Where I start digging deeply into Persona lore and boring the shit out of everybody, but I
Well, it's
tug it.
fascinating. It's fascinating to me. I don't know how I don't know how to maybe poll the audience, see how they feel about it.
Nah, fuck the audience. We do what we
maybe
want
maybe
here.
maybe that's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah.
We'll do
Yeah,
whatever the
whatever.
hell we want. But yeah, she's briefly in there, and that's to signify the fact that in Persona 2, hold on, now I get to do a deep lore cut. Ready? So in Persona 2, you fight Hitler, but Hitler is actually Narlahotep. He's in a war with Philemon for the soul of humanity. Narlahotep believes that humanity is a chaotic, evil thing that must destroy itself, and Philemon sees the good in us, right? Spoiler fucking alert. In Persona 2 Part 1, Narlahotep wins. So there's a timeline, right? There's a timeline where everybody
Holy
died.
shit, he is. God damn.
Yeah, Hitler's in
I'm
Persona
gonna have to
2.
play Persona 2 now. What is that on?
PlayStation 1, the emulator. You get an emulator. It's great. So, anyway, right?
I do have simulator.
Then what Philemon does is captures humanity. Like he winds time back just a little tiny bit as far as he can go without screwing his powers over, and then he splits off the timeline. So there's a timeline in the Persona universe where the Persona 3 protagonist is never born, the Persona 4 protagonist is never born, the Persona 5 protagonist is never born, because essentially Lucifer won, right? But it's not Lucifer, it's Nyarlathotep. And that's important too because Lucifer wouldn't do you like that. Lucifer would kill you in a different way, right? So Lucifer's goal was always to get you to turn against the Great Will, whereas Narlohotep's goal is to just annihilate you personally.
Holy shit, that's bonkers.
Yeah, but it gets
That
even
is
wilder, right?
nonsense.
So then in Persona 2 Part 2, everybody forgets that this all happened. So what Narlohotep tries to do there is to get you to remember that you're dead. Because if you remember that you're actually dead and screwed over, what'll happen is the barrier between timelines will break down, reality will collapse in on itself, and you'll go back to the proper timeline. Well, you foil that plot. So that allows the Persona 3 protagonist to grow up without his parents or her parents, depending on which one you pick. It doesn't really matter, right?
Hmm.
And that causes the events of Personas 3, 4, and 5 to all occur because you're in the alternate timeline. But as a consequence of that, Philemon is getting weaker. There's a real chance by Persona 7, if they follow their own fucking lore, that we're like the Persona 7 protagonist or Persona 6 protagonist is forced to deal with the fact reality is collapsing in on itself through the cognitive world and has to stop it again. We could get another Messiah character, which I would
Wow.
fucking love because I am tired of the protagonist in these games walking out like a freaking champ.
Yeah, because that would mean they'd have to be a martyr.
Yeah, and spoiler alert to Persona 3, the protagonist is Jesus. The protagonist is Jesus, aka they martyr themselves. And the problem with the answer is that like he has his own Mary Magdalene in the form of Yukari. Yukari's madly in love with the protagonist. That's why she's the romance arcana, right? The
Lovers,
lovers.
the lovers, yeah.
That's why she's the lovers. She's deeply in love with him, but her love is almost psychotic in nature. When the protagonist dies by sacrificing himself for all of humanity, instead of carrying that with her and becoming like a new like Mother Teresa type figure or whatever, she calls out to the void to try to annihilate the barrier that's keeping him dead so that so that he'll come back to life, which is theoretically possible. But if he comes back to life, everybody fucking dies. And that's what Yukari spends her time doing is witching for the end of the world so that she can see the protagonist one more time.
Wow.
Yeah, she's the fucking bad guy in the whole thing, which sucks because Yukari was like she
Wow.
was
Because
also the most
I did
realistic
like
of the
Yukari.
girlfriends.
Dang.
Yeah, she's the most realistic of all the girlfriend characters because like in Persona 4, Rise is like unreal fucking listic. That is just a teenage boy's
Yeah,
fantasy.
reset is just fan service,
A-
obviously.
Yeah, and Anne is somehow worse.
I can agree to that, yeah.
I'm just gonna bombard Choose chat with pictures of Persona 5 characters. Now I'm just fucking with him at this point. This is a fun game. Anywho, yeah. So like the two lovers
But
arcanas in four and
I can
five.
see why a lot of people. I can see why a lot of people went with Rise, just because she is fan service the character.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I don't
and
know. I ended up
unlike
going with
unlike Anne, she has a personality. You went for Chie. Is that your gal du jour?
that's Chie and Marie.
You have fun with Marie. Trying
Marie is
to
fun because she does all that fish out of water shit.
is she supposed to be like one of the Persona room attendants, right? I've never played Golden. I only
Yeah,
know a little bit
yeah,
about it.
she's a Persona room attendant. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's apparently um apparently when you're not when she has a problem with her existence wavering
Okay.
when you're not in the room.
There's a reason for that, obviously.
Yeah, yeah, I haven't gotten into that far. I'm only like because they limit how far you can get in her relationship status until later, and I haven't gone through all the bombshells yet either.
Yeah. Marie's the weirdest of the bombshells, by far.
I bet she's interesting. Chie is pretty straightforward. Yukiko is pretty straightforward, but I don't trust her.
Marie and Kasumi are the same character in this regard. They're too jarring. They fuck up everything.
Yeah.
I don't approve of it. I don't like how they add the new characters because they don't just finish the main story and then add on to it like a DLC and then have them be playable from there. They completely fucking shoehorn them in weird spots and fuck up the narrative.
Yeah,
Like,
but I didn't play it before, so I don't actually have that experience with Marie.
yeah, fair enough.
I just thought she was like I didn't know I didn't even know I didn't even know Golden was a different version. I was just playing it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah, Marie, okay, cool, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. When they added Kasumi, they fucked up the relationship for Joker. Joker's girlfriend is supposed to be on. That's why she's the lover's arcana. Nope, now it's Kasumi.
mm,
Yep, they just
yeah,
again,
that's the cardinal sin of waifus, huh?
it is the cardinal sin of waifus because he has a canon girlfriend. It's always the lover's arcana. When you do this shit, you fuck up everything. Because On has no purpose then. On was already a weak character anyway, who was entirely dependent on the man in her life to define her. Unlike
Yeah,
like
Reese is so mad.
yeah, Rise at least has a personality. Like On doesn't have that. On is just literally like here's sex appeal the character.
Right, right. Here's
Like
your here's your white girl for the Japanese boys.
yeah, here's your big booby white girl. Have fun with it. Do what we
Oh,
know you're going to do.
she's a model, whatever.
Yeah. Like Haru is defined by the men in her life but overcomes it. Makoto is defined by the people in her life hating her and gains strength anyway. On is pretty. On has no personality. The only thing she existed for was to literally be the lovers or it's the most bullshit thing in the story outside of the homophobia, right? Like that
Yeah.
like it's amazing. So like when you take that away from her, the character
I don't
knows.
actually recall too much of an arc for her either. Yeah.
There isn't. She's pretty and then she stays pretty, but now she's confident that she's pretty.
hmm
Futaba, right? Futaba. Futaba is defined by the men in her life, but the men in her life are in a supportive role, and she has to pull out of her depression to overcome it. And then what happens? They go.
what's funny is that when I was originally playing it, I thought Futaba was supposed to be, um, like the big love interest, and I was surprised when everybody was like, no, that's not it. I'm like, what? You mean not nope? Everybody didn't choose Futaba.
I do what you.
I thought she was supposed to be the cover art girl. You know, the one that's different than the rest.
No, it's the blonde girl. Yeah,
That's
like,
disappointing.
like it again. Like it's so frustrating. Like for okay, there are some writing problems.
I couldn't help but feel for Futaba.
Well, yeah, of
I couldn't
course you
help
feel
it.
bad for her. That poor kid is being tormented. The government is torturing this child. Yes, you should.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, Futaba, oh, it's oh man. That's interesting though. I didn't realize that they go have they occur in alternate realities in the same universe in canon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The Persona 5 kind of fucks this up too cuz in they released Persona 3 in '07.
That's probably what it is then, because I started with Persona 5 and I'm just now catching up to Persona 4 and 3.
Yeah, no, once you play through those two, a lot more shit in 5 will make sense too. Cuz there's a lot of references and harken backs. Um in Persona 3 it was released in '07, it takes place in '09. Persona 4 was released in 20 I want to say 2010, takes place in 2012. And then Persona 5 was supposed to be concurrent with reality. It was supposed to be released in 2015 to take place in 2016. But when they fucked up on the release dates for the Japanese and American versions, they just put those X's there instead, so it's supposed to be quote unquote timeless. Although it's not timeless. It's not a timeless goddamn game.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's real fucked up. It's real fucked up. Again, they're fucking a lot of things up with that. I have some problems with P5. I love that game to death. Yeah,
And I
I'm gonna
never
keep
actually got
fucking
to
with
see the
True.
true ending of Persona 5.
What's that?
I never had to see the true ending of Persona 5.
Oh,
I
you
fucking
should.
they got me. They got me.
They got you.
I made a wrong turn somewhere. And I was like, oh, I don't get to see the real ending. God.
Yeah, it's not. The main god is voiced by the same guy who does Kenpachi Zaraki's voice. Same guy. When you hear it, you'll hear Kenpachi Zaraki from Bleach and be like, "Damn, dude, it's that guy." And he's cool. It's a bit, single dimensional. And then when you get to Royale, the second big bad, right, boss number 2, he
Mhm.
awakens because of what happens when you defeat reality, like um, when you defeat the false god and beat, the true boss or whatever. That's when he
Really?
awakens, and that's how he comes about. His is an anti-creation arc.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm just gonna spoil that one. He is a Zothoth instead of Narlahotep, right?
Who
So
is
in
Zothoth?
Azathoth is the highest god in the Lovecraftian pantheon. He's why reality exists.
Uh,
So the whole premise on that is he's of course creating a false reality with his hyper powerful super demon persona, right? He's more fucking powerful. Like the actual true villain in Persona 5 is so powerful that he can control reality.
oh, Azathoth.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Oh,
Azathoth
okay.
is how I say it. But
I,
Azathoth.
I I recognize Thoth as the Egyptian god, put as in front of it. So okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, so like
Right, because he would have to be like the god of knowledge or something.
well he's the god of because in the Lovecraftian
Dreams.
pantheon,
Okay, yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense.
because he dreams and makes reality in Persona 5.
Oh, that's the sleeping god. Okay, yeah, I do remember this. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm following now. I'm following now.
Well, yeah, and now this is for the audience, of course, but like because like that's the god's powers that he dreams and creates reality in Persona 5, he's a persona that awakens in this fucking human that can shape reality by making your dreams come
Yeah,
true.
yeah, don't awaken, don't awaken him.
Well, he does awaken him, but instead of destroying everything, he has a different end goal than Narlahotep. He wants to rule the universe through this human, but he has to then to do that instead. Like he's the most insidious of the bosses, they argue, because instead of doing what the main villain did, right, or part one's villain does, which is just try to dominate you and take your will from you and make you accept him, he tries to placate you with nice fantasies.
Mm,
Like he tries to render you docile through willing submission. It's funny. Like if we were to extend it to what we had the analysis before, the enemies are all conservatives, right? And you're playing as a prog.
okay.
So of course, like the enemy is like all shut up, domination, torture, rape, all that monstrous shit. He's the insidious liberal. Like
Oh,
that's where they get
okay.
explicit about being very supportive of the Japanese. At least those writers were very supportive of the Japanese Communist Party, whether or not they intended to be, because he's a liberal. I'll tell you everything you want to hear and pretend like everything's good, but in reality, this is all bullshit. Everything we're doing is bullshit. None of it's real because none of it's earned through struggle.
Man, that character design is fucking tight.
For Zothoth,
Hell yeah.
yeah,
I could see it, the angel cross, and then like with the demon arms coming out of it. That's fucking nuts.
yeah. And when he awakens to being Adam, the first man.
Mm,
Also a demon. Let's be very
mm.
clear. Adam's considered a demon in this canon.
Sure, why
Precisely.
not?
Well, it's precisely because, like in biblical lore, right? Adam sets a tone for humanity with his actions. Everybody blames Eve, but in reality, like it's Adam's fault. Adam fucked everything
Yeah,
up.
it was totally Adam's fault. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
everything
was.
was.
I was hearing some weird shit from, I think it was the Hoteps of all people, where they were saying that Adam, after eating the apple, turned white.
That's awesome.
I was like, wow, the way people shape these mythologies, man. Oof.
Nothing about that in the book, by the way. Oh, because they were trying to say what, like that the whiteness is the mark of Cain. Then.
Yeah, they were trying to say something like like it was the sign of his curse, and he cursed Eve with the same shit.
That's fantastic. I,
Like
I,
because he was the first man, he was black,
I want the
something like
Hoteps
that.
to write video games.
I really do too.
But
I
yeah,
mean, this is the day and age we've got literal cults making games. So sure,
yeah,
let's get a Hotep game in here.
yeah. Fuck yeah. I will buy the Hotep game, not
I will
directly
buy
from
the
the
Hotep
Hoteps.
game myself too.
Yeah, I will
You
play the
know that shit's
Hotep
got to
game.
be warped as fuck.
Oh my god.
Man, I would love to see all the different forms of White Devil.
Can't we move beyond the White Devil for one game? Fuck you. Okay then.
Nope, all endings return to the White Devil.
Always be showing a White Devil. If you ain't showing a White Devil, are you really doing a Hotep game?
Now they might hide it. They might hide it until the very end.
No, it's better if they do it right off the bat and then are
But
unapologetic.
the ultimate boss has to be a White Devil.
Yeah. Always be showing a White Devil.
It would be the White Devil breaking pieces of itself off, trying to reunify itself.
Yeah, it moves like sin around the Final Fantasy X grid, dropping off other White Devils.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And then at the end you get the climax where it finally unifies and becomes the final White Devil.
Yes,
I would buy the fuck out of that.
we so would. It would be amazing.
That'd be great.
Oh my dear God, just sin, but it's a white guy in a polo shirt.
White guy in a polo shirt.
Yeah, and he's just dropping off the awful Klansmen off of him.
That's really cool that Azathoth is a fucking lib. That rocks. That
Yeah,
that 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 is fucking tight.
he placates you with identity politics and false reality instead of the hard struggle that is the class struggle. And that's why,
That is fucking tight.
and every one of those Persona characters is a facet of theory. Horror reminds us that there will be class traitors and we should welcome them with open arms. And that most importantly, you don't just go, "Oh, you're a class traitor, great." They have to do the work too. Because what does Haru do? The work.
Hmm.
Like they don't give her a fucking excuse. They don't give her a fucking pass. They make her do the work too. But she does, and she is totally accepted from doing that work as a member of the team. There's no bullshit where they fucking They're fucking mean to her. There's no bullshit where they're fucking lying about her, lying to her. She's just an equal part of the team when she joins. Uh,
Well, that
Makoto,
explains the the phony with the face phony with the face of my daughter
yeah,
aspect.
yeah. Oh yeah, no. You treat Makoto like an equal. You don't treat her different. You don't treat her as somebody fucking pitiable. You don't treat her as somebody who's worthy of suspicion. You don't treat her. You don't put her on a fucking pedestal. She's an equal. She does the work just like you do, and that's why she's an equal.
This is why I love video games. They have such crazy theory and lore behind the surface
Oh
in
yeah,
some of these. Like some of these games, it's a lot of these Western games, it's like it's exactly surface. It's exactly what you think it is.
yeah.
Has like nothing more to it. But some of these games is like Persona where it's just you could dig in this shit for a lifetime. Still come out with more.
You could, and I do. At least the Persona games. These are the ones I fucking know. But like when you look at them, you're like, ah, oh yeah, I can go on. Like Makoto and Sei, you should be looking for traders within those power structures, right? You should
Hmm.
definitely be looking for traders within the power structure. Um, Joker is the classic criminal, the criminalization of not being rich, right?
Hmm.
Ryuji is the abuse suffered at the hands of like athletes or class allies. Like those
Mm.
non-labor producing workers are class allies. 'Cause Ryuji is like a fucking track star. Um,
And then Obama shows up and says, "Nope, don't do this anymore. No more actions among the athletes."
would he bother to actually do anything though?
Who?
Obama.
Obama?
Yeah,
Oh,
would
that's what
he?
he did. No, he did that. He did that.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, the NBA players.
Oh
They were
shit.
striking when they were striking.
That's the
You
only
didn't hear
thing he
about that?
did.
You didn't hear about that? He was
I
they were striking and they were serious about it. They were like, "Yeah, we are fucking serious. Like we're gonna do this." After the whole Kaepernick shit.
Yeah.
And then came in and they called in Obama and he told them to stop and they stopped.
Holy fuck.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, that gives a whole nother dimension to Obama, huh? Final
Yeah.
boss of liberalism.
Well, it seems on brand. He's a white guy.
It is on brand, yeah.
He's just a white dude protecting
Oh,
white interests.
If we get Obama in Persona 6,
Yeah, we got the only thing they got wrong, right? They got an ultra nationalist in the Japanese game, but we didn't get Obama. We got Dick Cheney. Like they were expecting a Cheney type Republican to go fucking nuts. We did not get that in America.
makes
We
sense.
we got a
Makes sense.
cuckoo banana birds. I'm trying to think of what else. Like Futaba, right? Like you should be trying to care for your allies or whatever and help bring them out of their shell and get them offline. Like get them offline so that they can do something
The
useful for the movement.
terminally online keyboard warrior.
Yes. But it puts it
The
in a
one,
positive spin.
the one who lacks praxis.
Yes. It's a bit condescending, but help them touch grass.
Yeah,
That's what's going
yeah,
on there. Because they will turn into powerful allies if you do.
yeah.
They're
She got some skills.
yes. And comically enough, her online skills are still useful for the movement, just not while she's rotting away in her own piss jars.
Right.
There is a lot of shit going on in that game, and like I said, we will dedicate.
And I would need another. No, I would need definitely a full episode of analysis on this one,
Yeah, I
especially with
think we should.
especially starting with Persona 5 because I did play through it and there was a lot that I missed.
Yeah, I'll be honest, with Persona 3, there's a lot of Greek myths going on and a lot of Greek tragedy going on that I'm just not like. Despite my limited background in acting, I'm not very like fucking versed in because I didn't care, right? Um,
Interesting because I have a lot of Greek mythology under my belt. It may not. I had a point where I was like really into mythology and I had a whole Greek and Roman period.
fair, fair. It never caught with me, but like that's fair.
It
But
was just
yeah,
fascinating. It was just fascinating because like they actually did believe these things.
It
You
was
know
their
what I mean?
religious practice. I mean, they believed them
Yeah.
like anybody believes them. It was
So like so like when you really start to piece it together, you can see the revisions with their scientific knowledge trying to uh, update their beliefs to follow the science of what they understood at the time.
yeah. So they get that weird schizophrenia going on.
You get stuff like Tartarus being the sulfur pits, but also turning into a hell place,
Yeah.
which is just fascinating. It's interesting to me. Um, no more interesting than any other mythology because I was into all of it, but you know, it's easy for them to hand you a book of Greek and Roman shit because that's what they love to do.
Yeah.
The fucking Nazi ass motherfuckers.
That is what they
You
push.
can you can you can get that all day. You start looking for the African shit. Good luck. It's gonna be hard to find.
Well, that's I've been curious about that shit because when I try to flavor my D&D campaigns, I'm like always looking for it, and I can't find that shit to save my life.
Well, I was able to find it, and a lot of it is really really fascinating.
I imagine so. Like even just on like the basis of like this is a culture I'm not exposed to, right? Like that alone is already fascinating about it. But then like
It's
I'm
uh
sure,
it's so foundationally different too, and it has a lot to do with like things that you wouldn't even consider, like hair as a signifier. Completely, there's a whole dimension there with just black hair. I
really,
shit you. I shit you not. It is. It was a very big deal, and it still is, and it explains why black people are the way they are with their hair.
that's all. That's like a cultural lineage thing,
Yeah, yeah,
huh?
definitely social signifier, all of it. Yeah. Oh, we got someone in here. Are
You're
they gonna
showing up
join us?
now.
Nah, that's whatever. You get here when you get here.
Damn, Skirt, you're
Yeah,
late to the
yeah,
party, son. We're like
yeah.
winding down.
The African mythology stuff is really really fascinating, especially when it starts to get into the trickster gods,
Yeah, well I
because
know they
they
adopted one of them.
well because they interact with all the other gods in a way that like reveals who they are even more.
Huh. Well, damn.
Like someone who's fully good can be bad, and I just saw you on Twitch and say, why would I listen there? Yeah, why would you listen?
Well, to help our viewer numbers.
Oh, okay, true, true that.
That thing we only give half of a shit about. Yeah, that's why.
You could write it in the background.
I'm
Just
gonna have
keep
to
it
start.
muted.
I'm gonna have to
I
start
need to
doing
start doing
multiple
that too.
tabs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I need to
just to
start.
fucking
Yeah,
just to fake it until we make it.
I got 3, 4 browsers. I could pull a tab on each one. We got to coordinate that a little better.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, the mythologies have always been kind of interesting to me. It's just that I had to stop it at a certain point because it's just not practical or useful. Not even like under social applications where you're like, hey, yeah, about this, a little more insight. Yeah, people hate when you correct them.
It is a curio.
Doo,
Yeah,
doo,
dude, we're
doo.
here all the time. We're
So
here
yeah,
all the time.
if you have some stuff, they'll pass me on when we do that Persona recap, Persona 3 and some of the Greek shit. I could
I'll,
definitely clue you into some shit.
I'll give you a rundown of the story, and I can never tell if it's like based on specific stories or it's based on because I know what they do. The overarching point of the Persona 3 thing is like, oh, the main protagonist is actually Jesus, and it's a back Philemon who's like the closest thing we have to Yahweh in this reality. Who's actually a good God looking out for you. That's the closest thing we have. But like Atlas is okay. The other thing is Atlas is really obsessed with the idea that the Japanese are the lost tribe of Israel. Okay,
Of course,
yeah,
everybody wants to be the fucking lost tribe of Israel. Of course,
we are like we Jews are
the
the last
true
people.
Jews.
Yeah, nobody actually wants to be us, but they all want to be the lost version of us. They want to be the magic special version of us.
They do the same shit with black people. They
Yeah,
do the same shit with black people.
yeah, they do. It's fucking old. But oh yeah,
Well,
they're like
they're not all that
super
different.
into it. Which explains why like all these Christian mythos figures keep showing up in the Japanese psyche. Like part of it is a cope mechanism for the invasion that occurred with like the economic invasion that occurred, right? Like part of that's cope. But the other part of that is like they think it's really like a cool, fascinating idea. Like you can tell they're not like actually religious in any way, but they're really obsessed with the mythology around it. And the Japanese do weird obsessions right.
Yeah,
So like the
that is
Persona games get
interesting.
fucking wild. The Megami games, you're always playing as like some sort. Basically, you're always playing. The Devil Summoners are always like the Devil Summoners are always basically like generals in the war for good and evil. But which side they're on, you pick throughout the game. Like, are you on the side of good or evil? Like, you kind of pick that as you go.
Okay,
With neutral being the side of humanity. You know what I mean?
makes
Um,
sense.
Whereas like in the Persona games, like you're always clearly on the side of good. They dumb down the moral choice for you, but like the other side of that is like you're forced to live through the Japanese understanding of a lot of mythology in a very short amount of time.
Hmm.
Which I mean, you enjoy them, right?
Yeah, I do. They're fascinating games. Yeah,
Yeah. So it could be worse, is what I'm saying.
like I'm just now hearing of this Philemon thing, and I'm like, wow, that's really
Yeah.
fascinating.
Philemon, by the time of Persona 5, he's worn down and he can only present himself as the butterfly. That butterfly that flies around, that's Philemon. And if you
That's
notice,
who that is.
yeah, if you notice, he's real present in 3 and 4, and by Persona 5, he's a very small presence, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, his attendants are extra dimensional beings who are neutral but in favor of humanity, and they are a very small part of it by that point. And that's partially why by Persona 5 you have a big tone shift to where it's like, y'all gonna have to nut up and do this yourselves. Because Philemon ain't doing so hot. Which is why I'm really hoping we get round 2 of Narla Hotep. And like we get a really wicked throwback there where he's like, okay, Philemon's weak, now's the time to strike. I'm the big
Yeah,
bad again.
it's saying here he's sort of Faustian, so that makes sense. Just sort of like kind of throwing bets around. Makes
Who,
sense.
who's that?
Philemon.
Philemon? Yeah. He's like a positive Faustian though.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
not he's like what if Mephistopheles were good?
right, right,
Yeah.
right. That makes sense. So that's what that butterfly was.
Yep. That's why the butterfly motif is so important because that's Philemon tipping the scales.
Very prominent in three.
Yeah. Well, it's also
I've
the one
seen
right
a
after
lot of
2 where he
butterflies.
still has a lot of his power.
Oh,
That's why he's still there. Notably, three's like the difference, like Persona 4's villains are comically evil, right? Like they're just, yeah, I'm the bad guy, bleh, right?
hmm,
Persona 5's villain is closer to Persona 3's villain, although he's still clearly evil. Like he's evil with a specific purpose. His fear is that humanity is going to bring itself to ruin and only he can spare them from it, right? So
wait.
he,
So Igor is Philemon's servant.
yes,
Interesting.
yeah. He's notably too, he wasn't the first Velvet Room attendant, I don't think. He might have been. Let me look that up again.
Nameless and Belladonna. Oh, the Nameless is the song.
Yeah,
No, Belladonna is the song,
Belladonna is the song. Nameless is the
and then
artist.
Nameless is the piano.
Yeah. Yeah, in Persona he's in Persona 3, 4, and 5 as Igor. It's his Velvet Room, which the Velvet Room actually has basis in like the weird the Persona 3, like the Persona guys who made the Velvet Room, they were obsessed with um fuck, I god damn it. Like I can meme the shit out of the show. Twin Peaks. They were obsessed with Twin Peaks. So that's where the Velvet Room comes from. It's the Red Lodge.
I don't know Twin Peaks.
You should watch Twin Peaks. It's very, very white, very weird, but it also isn't
Yeah,
a big
that's
inspiring.
what kind of turned me off. It
It when you get deeper into the myth on Twin Peaks, like
it just made me think of like a very weird cartoon X Files
it kind of is. Well, they were supposed
with
to do a
with
crossover.
like a lot of like I don't know like wannabe depth. Like it felt like there's definitely some lore there, but I just didn't care.
It's very hard to parse the lore there, and that's probably why you didn't care because it's not accessible enough to be like sensible, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not deep
I
enough.
couldn't get invested. I couldn't get invested.
Well, it's not. It's in a weird spot. Like for me personally, what keeps it makes it difficult for me being like Twin Peaks is the best show ever. Although I've watched it through one time, like I can't follow the shit. The shit's too like there's too many like twists and turns that feel arbitrary almost, and it feels very much like we only intended for 2 seasons,
Mm.
or like we intended for 1 season and got way more than we anticipated.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Yeah, so like now we have to really try to make this deeper than it is, and it gets weird. But
Yeah, I so you're saying I should watch that?
you should, but like only like I would watch all the stuff in the Red Lodge because that informs the Velvet Room very much, including like Igor being the midget, the dancing midget. That's who Igor's supposed to kind of be. Like that's their version of him, but he's way more helpful than that freaking weirdo. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, little person. I fucked that up. I'm getting tired. The old
It's okay.
2007 language is coming out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're from a different time. Don't let that shit slide.
Yeah, no, well, you gotta acknowledge it and get fucking back on track or whatever. But like, yeah, so like Igor's supposed to be like that, and his Velvet Room is the Red Lodge, but instead of it being the bad lodge, it's the good lodge, which is a thing in the show, and it's a whole fucking, like I said, it's a whole bunch of bullshit. But the bottom line is like they were heavily informed by that too when they did this shit. So then by Persona 3, they're like, let's just go all in on it, which frankly is cool. That's a cool thing that they did. That shit rocks.
Yo, the bow.
Yeah, Yaldabaoth is the demiurge in Gnostic mythology, and he's trying to like he thinks humanity's going to ruin itself, so better he dominates it than them ruin it all, right?
Yeah,
But in Persona 4, the villain is comically evil. I got to kill all the humans. Blah. In Persona 3, the villain is Nyx, the like the harbinger of humanity's downfall.
night. Yeah,
But Nyx
uh,
isn't evil. Nyx is a merciful god who thinks like, oh, humanity is
evil.
mass begging for death, which the undertone is caused by rampant alienation, right?
That's that Greek and Roman in it. Yeah,
Yeah, so instead of like making material conditions better, we should probably just kill humanity and be done with this shit.
yeah. Nyx just wants silence, peace.
Yes. But notably, she's not evil. Like all the other
No,
Persona,
Nyx has never been evil. No,
no.
Nyx is like Nyx. It's like trying to call the night evil,
Yes,
or it's like trying to call the vacuum of space evil.
exactly. So like not a villain, not well, she is a villain, but not an evil villain. She is literally like she's operating out of what she thinks are her best interests for humanity, and that's informed by the other appearances in the Mega like the Shin Megami Tensei series, the SMT series, and Megaten, because she appears as an actual interactable demon in a lot of them, and she sees how like the struggles of humanity and how frankly shitty they are at coping with problems.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's straight up out of Pantheon. Yeah.
yeah, so she's like, okay, well I can help you. Nobody else can, but I can.
Oh shit, they got Thanatos and Nemesis.
Yeah,
Oh shit. I'm gonna have to just spend some time just poking around the they got Hecate? Poking around the thing here.
oh
It's
yeah,
like they just picked the most interesting I don't know, figures to use.
they really do. They really do.
And they put Hecate in the Cthulhu that pantheon.
I think in the
That's e-
original one.
that's even more interesting. Yeah, the original witch.
Yeah.
Nemesis is a robot with a gear running through its head. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's yeah. I did remember seeing Narcissus. I do remember seeing that. So like when you get these persona, it's like you're taking on the embodiment of who that deity is.
Okay, so if you were to collect them in like the Mega 10, this is real important. So if you collect them in the Mega 10 mainline games, you're making an allegiance with that demon based on your personality, um, and based on the
Oh,
negotiation. But if you do it in all your favorites are here, they got
they
Penis
got a
Chariot. They
penis
do have
chariot.
Mara, and Mara is always a horny god. Wiener Chariot, go. Also a powerful persona in his own right, by the way. Let's not insult Wiener Chariot.
I do remember seeing Mara actually. Yeah.
Yeah, Wiener Cherry is powerful. So in the Mega 10 games, in the original games that predate Persona,
I remember sitting there and I'm just looking. Sorry to interrupt. Just sitting there looking and I'm like, that that's a penis.
yeah. So in those games, you were actually negotiating with the demons themselves, and if you could sway them to join your team, they would be your ally and fight with you, right? In the
Hmm.
Persona games, they are Jungian archetypes that are conjured in the mental space that have the force of reality within that space because that operates as a secondary reality. So instead of it being an actual battle between heaven and hell, it is the collective unconsciousness of humanity where that battle is being waged, and that would influence our decisions
Right.
thusly.
It's that anime thing where they make the abstract real.
Yeah, but the reason they do it specifically, is because like the idea is like what is the governing order of the world, and you are the ones influencing it and leading towards human liberation and free will. to
Mm.
to put another way, like in Persona 3, you triage the problems of capitalism. In Persona 4, you deal with the immediate crisis of death, and in Persona 5, you're seeking to actualize human liberation in our collective unconsciousness away from our systems in play.
Yeah, I do remember hearing that Persona 5 was about liberation. Persona 3 was about death. And what was that Persona 4 about?
Persona 3 was about death, but Persona 3 was about the mass death and the alienation of humanity from itself, to the point where
Yeah,
it was preferable to die than exist as a human in this world, and overcoming that negative thinking. Like
that's
th-
brilliant.
that's that's why the
I did,
tagline for Persona 3 is like Memento Mori, like remember you will die. It's to make sure that you remember that that's a future event coming and what you do now matters. So that's why the protagonist gives his life. Like it's not only about the protagonist's journey from birth, life into death, like Jesus Christ, but it's also about the fact that death is supposed to be a future event that will come and that you're supposed to live your life until that moment, right?
mm,
Whereas Nyx is the immediacy of death now, and it's the death of not only the self but the physical body. So like you're trying to stop mass death, right? You're trying to stop mass annihilation, and you're
hmm
trying to remember that you will die as an abstract hypothetical future, right? That is also very
right.
real. In Persona 4, the problem there is that just the gods are just the murderer, right? The chief god just hates humanity, so it wants to cloud humanity in the fog, which is the failure to remember the self and to annihilate humanity back into a herd animal. So it is, if you will, it's like regressive conservatism, right? Just reduce us back to base animal war of all against all that bullshit. That's what you're fighting against is the fog.
Mm,
So in Persona
okay.
5 now that you've stopped the crisis of suicide, mass suicide, right? Death through capitalism. And now that you've stopped the capitalist drive towards forgetting the self and reduction to a herd animal, right? Like a domesticated animal. Then beyond that, the god Yaldabaoth tries to influence humanity and get it to be subservient to the gods again. So your goal there is human liberation from these ideas that want to lock up humanity's free will and self determination capacity.
Mm,
and to get you to think outside of those systemic frameworks.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
That does. Yeah.
So like again, they're really cool games, and how they tell those stories is, of course, like the battle against alienation is a Greek tragedy overlaid with Christian overtones. Uh, nope, they're games about waifus. Well,
Be both. You can be
you
both.
can be both. You can be both. You should
In
like
fact, that's the most classic artist trick in the book. They make
yeah.
it look like it's a game about waifus, and then they overlay a whole bunch of depth underneath, including capitalist critique.
Yeah, you're all Persona fucking slaps. Never played SMT though. Uh
Hey, I'm in the same boat. I'm in the same boat.
Nocturne. I say that to anybody listening. Nocturne is an amazing game.
Hmm.
Nocturne is what turned me on to SMT. It is it is Persona on meth, or it is Pokemon on crack and depression. In
That
either
sounds tight.
scenario, they are so fucking tight. Nocturne was fucking cool because the endings in Nocturne were very real, and there were like multiples. Like there was like you get okay. This is the last bit because it's getting to be 1 a.m. We've done a 3-hour stream now on just pure bullshit, right? But Nocturne's premise was that humanity is going through a crisis. The crisis is that the gods are like, well, this was a great trial run. Let's see what comes next. It's a mass extinction event. And in the world that follows that, you become a half demon who has to try to not only defeat the demonic hordes and crush the forces of heaven, but then find a demonic sponsor, a demon so powerful that they can give you a reason to like a philosophy to be, right? And then you're going to use that and force the world to mold to your whims because you are the agent that can do it. They are the theory, you are the praxis. And
Hmm.
like they range from like the libertarian power fantasy of everybody is their own individual in their own individual world, free of everybody else, but that's a lonely alienated existence the game presents it as. There's the might make right, which is just the Hobbesian war of all against all, which the game portrays as like, yeah, like the strongest dominate, but the strongest are constantly paranoid, right? It's a paranoid, depressing world with no trust, no love, none of the things that make you human. Um,
Yeah.
there's there's an ending where you restore humanity. There's an ending where you leave the world in this unfinished state and just say fuck everybody. And then there's two versions where not only do you abandon it, but you team up with Lucifer to be like, that's it, fuck God. We're going for the big win right now. No more. Now obviously I gunned for the first time I played I gunned for Might Makes Right because the girl was hot and I was a younger man, and then it became I got to restore humanity. But the Lucifer one is kind of cool because like, oh, and I'm sorry, there's one where you team with Lucifer, and there's one where like you do all that shit and then betray Lucifer. You're the ultimate adversary to everything. You just fucking hate everybody. You've killed all the demonic sponsors. You fucked every human who's ever lived. And then when the ultimate adversary to God is like, dude, let's go
True
get him.
conservative.
You're like, fuck you too. You are literally worse than Lucifer. You are like he thinks he's the adversary, and you are the adversary of all that has ever lived and all that will.
No, no, you're not playing me. I'm playing you.
Yeah, bitch. So like that ending rocks. The adversary of adversaries. Um, but it's a really fucking wild, trippy ride along the way. SMT5 is supposed to be very similar. SMT4 was not. SMT4 was not. Although it is a cool premise. If I remember right, SMT4 is like demons show up in Antarctica and you have to cross over, and it's almost like there's a fucking movie like that. SMT4. I'm pretty sure if this is the one that I might be thinking of a different one though. Fuck. SMT is that the one with the fucking samurai? I'm thinking of Strange Journey. Yeah, sorry.
Look at all this lore for something as simple as Mara.
Yeah, right? The Dick God. I know way too much about this shit. Like, you know how I know way too much about socialism? I know even like on the scale of uselessness, my SMT knowledge is like incomplete, but also hands down the least useful thing I know about. And like I still remember how to run correct plays piloting a 2009 Jun standard deck, right? I know how to extract value out of plays in that deck. To this day is still far more useful than the sheer amount of knowledge I have about SMT, which comically is also too low to be considered like professor level of the subject. I could not beat Tony for you at it. But you know what? The counterpoint is I know more than most scrubs. So I'm in a weird spot where everything I know is completely fucking useless, which feels bad. I'm not going to lie, it feels terrible. But I kind of also love it. I love the addiction.
Yeah, I don't really know. I try to not like learn a bunch of useless stuff. But then again, I also apply lateral thinking in a way that like I turn a lot of stuff that's seemingly useless into something useful.
Yeah, I don't. This is the closest we're going to do if I talk about all the dork lore that I love for content. This is the closest I'll ever get to that.
I'm still at I'm still at figuring out that shadows and demons are different in this universe. I
Sh-
I did not realize. I
yeah,
did not realize.
shadows are the negative fragments of the human personality and mind that are locked away and are revealed through combat. In Persona, in SMT, they're just fucking demons. They're literally things from like beyond our reality that attack us
Hmm.
and besiege us and fucking torment us.
Ideologies.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been a long stream. Let's go ahead and cut this.
All right. Yeah. So this has been Sons, of course. We love you all. Don't die.
Have a great night, everybody.